Today, we have some really interesting conversations to have from the videos we're going to watch today. We're going to start off with a red pill man going on a blind date, and we're going to hopefully learn what rhetoric you should be listening to from men that are you're on dates with to understand how they really feel about women. Next, we're going to be having a discussion about a video that is sad but introspective from a woman who discusses her life as a loser, and we're going to see how that applies to the dating marketplace. And then, of course, we're going to discuss some very tragic and epic story times that come on from TikTok about different women's dating lives and relationship journeys. And we're going to see what mistakes you can avoid in your own love journey. And of course, we have your questions that I'm going to be answering on our also infamous Discord story. Well, I guess not a story time. It's more like a questionnaire. Okay. First, this interesting video I came across. Now, I don't watch these ahead of time. I just kind of scope to see if they're interesting or not. So I think it's really good for us, even aside from the teachings that I do on the board, for us to also, get other perspectives and other stories and have conversations about them, because I think it helps all of us kind of better understand, someone said spank us, better understand what men are thinking, kind of break it down, have conversation about it. And I think it's very good for us to all grow in our understanding of love, life, and relationships by also hearing from other perspectives. So this is like a blind dating show. I'm assuming, I haven't watched this, and this guy is apparently like a kind of a red pill character, and then she also is, I guess, a regular everyday next door girl. So we're going to watch this, and then we're going to have commentary along the way. Okay, so let's get started.
Do you think Halloween is your one pass to dress like a...
I didn't.
Or do you just do that every day?
Damn, okay.
My name's Emmy. I'm from New Hampshire, and I'm 21.
I'm Oscar Coleman. I'm 22 years old, and I'm from right here in Long, South Carolina.
What's one interesting thing about you?
One interesting thing about me is I have a dog. My dog's name is Penny, and she's a brat.
One interesting thing about me is I've lived in 5 different states in my whole lifetime.
She gets to zoom
Okay,
a lot.
okay. So we've already gone somewhere that I want you guys to be paying attention to. So if you go out on a date with a guy, and the guy that you're on a date with says that he's been lived in 5 different states, and how many long was it that he said?
Lived in 5 different states in my whole lifetime.
Okay, 5 different states in his whole lifetime. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because that could be a function of, his parents. But also you want to get an understanding, is he living in 5 different states maybe as an adult because he likes to move around, or he can't hold down a job, right? These are things that you want to be paying attention to, because that doesn't sound bad in itself, but if you're thinking about building a relationship, that might not necessarily be conducive to a long-term serious relationship, right? Are we on the same page?
She gets to zoomies a lot and likes to put balls underneath the dresser where I can't find them, and then scream when she can't get them.
How would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as hilarious, fun, hardworking, always down for a good time.
I would describe myself to be funny, a little bit annoying.
So why should someone date you?
Like I said, I'm hilarious, super good looking. I plan on being very wealthy in the future.
Somebody should date me because I'm down to do anything. Not
Okay, he said he's planning on being very wealthy in the future, but then if you were on a date and someone said that, I would advise you to ask, okay, so but then what's your plan on being very wealthy? Because a lot of guys say that, like, oh, I want to drive a Lambo, I want to drive a Ferrari. Okay, so what's your plan to get there? That's when you'll start to see some guys will be stumped.
like that.
By the time I'm 30, I'm going to have $30 million in the bank.
Like, go anywhere at any time, do anything at any time. Not in a weird way.
And how much are you willing to spend on a girl?
I am willing to spend $100 a month on a woman.
So why are you here?
I'm here because I'm single.
I'm looking for a very submissive woman and someone that will meet my every need at any given time.
Chat, what do you think that means? A guy says, I'm looking for a very submissive woman and one that will meet my every need at any time. What do you think that means? What do you think? What is he trying to say here? I want to see how much you guys are learning. What is he trying to say? Someone said, sounds like my ex-husband. Crazy. Okay. All right. He's Delulu. Too much Andrew Tate. Interesting. Interesting. These are okay. So, but this is good, right? Because this is honestly the type of ways that guys will be talking when you're on a date with them, right? They're going to say things like this. Not every guy that you meet, but some of the guys that you meet will say things like that. And it's very good to be able to understand how to interpret what he's actually saying.
I'm looking for someone who's nice,
To see more content like this, make sure you absolutely annihilate that subscribe button.
will pay for things.
My needs are absolute obedience. I am going to require hot food at the end of the day.
And down to have fun.
Okay, he said he needs absolute obedience and he needs hot food at the end of the day. So you can't, okay, I want to also be able to help translate some of the things that are being said here, right? So there's nothing wrong with being a leader as a man, right? That's not inherently a bad thing. But when he's saying absolute obedience, a lot of times that translates to, oh, I believe I'm always in the right. You're always going to be in the wrong. And even if I am in the wrong, I'm not going to admit it because my expectation of you is to just accept that I'm right and I know what's best for everyone, right? And I don't expect you to have any opinions because your opinions don't matter, right? These are the type of things I'm just trying to help you translate it to try and, when a guy is saying it, instead of just being in your date and just, being in la la land, you can actually be able to like absorb what's being said to you.
Fun.
A nice back massage when I'm done eating.
So what is one conspiracy theory that you have?
One conspiracy theory I have is the government isn't real.
One conspiracy theory I have is we have not been to the moon.
My ideal date would be dinner, preferably with somebody tall, blonde or brown hair that's nice and can hold a conversation.
What would you have on that dinner?
Like food-wise?
Yeah.
Sushi.
I can't do sushi. What
Why?
we could do, my ideal date would be, we could take my truck out down where ain't nobody else. We could go shoot some skeet and
Chat, sorry, what is skeet? I don't know. I don't know what skeet is. Is that deer? What is skeet? Is that raccoon? I'm not country enough to know what skeet means. What is skeet? My understanding of what skeet means is actually something totally different. Okay. Then we go and get gator. I don't know what skeet is. Someone tell me.
then we could get one of those little grills. Get a little grill put on the back of the truck.
Clay pigeons. That's what that is. Interesting.
Cook some steaks, make some burgers maybe.
I've shot skeet in my life once or twice.
Yeah, are you any good at it?
No.
All right, you got a gun?
I had a 22, not anymore.
That'll work. Why don't you got it no more?
Because it's at home.
Can't be super stupid. Gotta kind of know what you're doing. Don't point the gun at me. And be able to take a joke. Because my jokes are kind of personal.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with dark humor, but let's see if some of the jokes that he says are because that kind of translates usually to dark humor. Let's see if he has some of this dark humor on the actual show. So this is like considered almost like a first date.
I could take a joke, but I am a little stupid. Both of my friends say it every day.
Damn it. All right, we'll work on it.
So let me ask you, how would you feel about hooking up on the first date?
How I feel about hooking up on the first date, it depends on how the date went, obviously, who the person is. If I'm attracted to the person, I wouldn't be on the date in the first place if I wasn't. I don't know, it depends where you're at and what you're doing. But, I mean, it's whatever, it don't matter to me.
Typically, no.
Have you ever?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
Okay, that's cap. Okay, I'm gonna mansplain it for you all. That's cap. You can see it on his face. That's cap.
My initial thoughts are that he's country, but that's all I'm getting from the vibe. Definitely hunts or fishes, something along those lines.
My initial thoughts so far, she's honest about her stupidity, which I like, I can respect that.
Okay. I'm sorry. The way he said it kind of threw me off guard. Okay. Well, she didn't hear that, but that's his thought process of her. So, okay. All right.
I like to fish, so that's a good thing.
What do you think about his voice so far?
I think his voice is good so far.
Her voice sounds pretty good. Nothing crazy, nothing too high pitch or anything. There's a lot in a voice. Sometimes a voice can be super annoying,
It's not annoying.
and sometimes it'll just ruin the whole thing, but I think we're good on the boys.
What are you looking forward to learning about her on the date?
I'm looking
Okay, this is a great question. I want to see what his answer is here.
forward to learning some of her views on some of the jokes I make throughout the whole thing.
I guess I'm
Actually, this is a great question to kind of ask someone when you're going on a date with them. Like, what are some of the things that you have learned from your past relationships, or you want to learn in this relationship, or you think is important to learn from one another, right? I thought he was gonna go a little bit deeper than that, but he obviously didn't. But it's a good gauge to kind of see, like, does he want to take something or think there is something to take from a relationship? And I mean, like, from the standpoint of not just, take something like, hey, how can you sleep with me, pleasure me, and things like that. But, like, how can we actually grow together, as opposed to just, you serving me and making me happy and that's it.
looking forward to getting to know him more.
If she'll get mad, if she's sensitive, which obviously everybody's gonna be sensitive at a certain point, but.
What vibes are you getting from him other than he's country?
I think he's nice, and I think we'll get along because he's sarcastic too.
What did you think about her not hooking up on the first date?
How I felt about her not hooking up on the first date was it's good, respectable, she has some self-dignity.
I can't tell if he goes out or not, so I want to see if he goes out.
Seems like she's down to go have some fun. A lot of girls are scared of guns, which I don't like.
How long have you been single, and what happened with your last ex?
I've been single for about a year and a half now, and I broke up with my ex-girlfriend because she was.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
That's a good question to ask on a first date, actually. That's a quite interesting answer. I hope they explore it more. What does he mean by she was I guess we can say a garden tool?
And I was not gonna stand for that.
It's good. I've been single for 2 years. Kind of broke up with me for no reason, but it wasn't working out to begin with.
Did he break up with you over text or in person?
In person,
Oh,
not sober.
dang, that sucks. So did you break up and then go to school, or?
No, we go to school together.
Oh, nice. You see him around?
No.
What year in
You guys go to the same school still? Interesting.
school are you?
A senior.
You're a senior. Okay. So you met him in school?
No, we went to high school together.
Holy shit. I don't think it's a good idea to date while you're in college at all, or in high school.
Why?
Because usually what happens is either or they'll get to college and see that there's a lot more options out there than they saw in high school, and they'll want to explore their options like any normal person would do, you know?
Yeah, yes.
Unless you're like an exceptional person, obviously.
I think I'm so exceptional.
What makes you different from any other girl around here?
Oh. Well, I'm blonde like every other girl.
Why, hello, Carl Drinker.
Tell me that. That just took away some of the surprise. It's all right.
Well, it's still a surprise.
So what were some fun things that y'all did?
I bought a dog while we were together. Guess that was fun.
Did he not like dogs?
No, he loved my dogs.
Do you still have the dog, or does he have it?
I have the dog. I bought the dog.
What kind of dog
It's
is
my dog. A Boston Terrier.
No shit, we have one of those. Except ours ate a bunch of chocolate and now has like Down syndrome or something. I swear.
How old is it?
I think he's like 2 or something.
Mine's 2. Oh,
Damn, maybe if this works out, like our dogs.
Our dogs can date.
Wouldn't that be incest?
No. How would it be incest?
Low key, that might.
No. They would just love each other.
Give me your best pickup line.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I usually say, want to be my dog's dad.
You need to say some crazy shit to make somebody laugh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably.
My go-to is, I can usually be like, nice tits, or,
That's not good.
see, it's funny. No,
Wait, wasn't the question like supposed to be about a joke? Okay, interesting. That's his version of a joke. All right.
no normal girl is gonna see that and be like, oh, it's just like any other guy. You know what I'm saying?
I would think that, and I would probably not answer.
Yeah, but you think about it.
No, I wouldn't.
Or I'd say something in Spanish that they'd have to Google translate it.
You're fluent in Spanish?
No, I'm getting there. We work with a bunch of Mexicans. Do you have a job?
I'm employed, but I'm not working right now.
What do you do?
I'm a server
Oh, why aren't you working?
because it's off season. We're not busy.
So, if you guys were in a committed relationship, what would you consider cheating?
I would
This is a great question. I really want to see what both of them actually have to say about this.
consider cheating having any guy friends other than me, because if you think about it, I should be the only guy you're talking to, really.
Okay. So, all right. Here's the thing. First things first, because he's going to go on for more, right? So he says he wants no guy friends other than you. Now, in itself, right? Obviously, being protective is not a bad thing. But then you have to be asking yourself a question when you go out on dates, right? What is sustainable and what is unsustainable? So, for example, right? A guy says, I'm a protective guy. I don't want, let's say, for example, hanging out with a guy best friend one-on-one, going to his house and being at his house, right? That's one thing. That's something like, okay, you can work around that and still have friendships and still have a life without disrespecting your partner. But then when he says, okay, I don't want you to have a single guy friend, no guys around, you're not even going to be around, like no one except for me, that just screams, one, he wants to isolate you, number one. And number two, it's going to create a very unsustainable relationship where anything you do associated to a guy, even if it's work related, even if it's like job career related, even if it's like something mandatory where you have to be around a guy, all of a sudden it's going to become a problem. So these are the type of things you have to be listening for when you're on dates with guys, right?
Your dad or your mom doesn't have other guy friends that they talk to or hang out with or Snapchat on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Snapchatting, guy friends, going out.
Okay, so Snapchat, okay, fair. Doing anything inappropriate with guy friends, fair. But this like now he's adding also going out. So now we're getting to a place where how are you supposed to see, this is what I describe as we've talked about on the show before, isolation, right? You are now going to be forced to basically hang out with him or be by yourself. Those really are your two options, or then maybe be with your family. So this is creating a problem now because this is the crazy part too, right? Even though he's not saying you can't have girlfriends, he's inadvertently saying you can't have girlfriends either because he's saying you can't go out. So if you can't go out, how are you supposed to hang out with your girlfriends? So you see how it's like it's slick there, right? He's saying you can't have guy friends. That's number one. But then you also can't really have girlfriends because your girlfriends are going to want to go out. I don't want you going out. So then what are your options there? Okay.
Acting like a dressing like a you know what you're doing. You know.
I wish they would ask him what is his definition of acting like a WHORE, right? Just to get clarification.
What I'm saying?
Going out's not cheating.
Going out seeking attention from other men.
But going out.
So in a sense, it is.
Okay.
It's seeking validation.
But I have two.
Going out in itself is not seeking validation. Now, you can do attention-seeking things when you go out, right? The same way you can do attention-seeking things from your phone on Instagram or on TikTok, right? But like in the sense of just going out, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going out to seek attention. You can also be going out to be with your friends.
Of my best friends that are girls, and we go out every weekend. Is that cheating? Just with them, and they both have
It may not
they
be
both have
physically
boyfriends.
cheating. Well, that's great. That's awesome for them. It may not be physically cheating in the physical sense, but you know in the back of your head why you're going there. You're not going there just to have fun with your friends and drink, because you could do that at the house. The only reason I would go out back when
Well, okay, so there's a couple things here. So these are the type of conversations that are important to have so that you don't get gaslit when you're on a date, because when you're with the guy one-on-one, sometimes guys can say things in a convincing way where you might be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, even though it doesn't. But you don't have any other source of truth, so you don't know. So, for example, what he's saying here is like, oh, you can be with your friends and drink in the house. You don't have to actually go out to do that activity. But the whole idea of dressing up and going out is to like experience other things outside of just being in the same house that you are living in some cases you're working in, that you're seeing all the time. It's to have other different experiences here, right? So yes, you could possibly meet other men when you go out to other places. And going out doesn't always necessarily have to mean going out to a bar or a club. It seems like Someone even said in the chat that he has trauma. It seems like he has a little bit of trauma associated to like girls going out just in general. Maybe that's how he got cheated on in the past or something like that. But this is not what he's describing is not sustainable. Like the expectation is for you to, if you're going to hang out with your girlfriends, just be in the house and drinking, right? And who even says you have to go out and drink? Why is that the assumption there?
Whenever I did that to get, and that's the only reason y'all go out. Y'all see, girls don't go out to get guys; they go out to put themselves in the position to be hit on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not their role. But yeah, what about you?
I consider cheating if you hook up with somebody else, or
Yeah, but
or
what
actively
about,
flirting with another girl.
there you go.
in a
What about
place.
the whole road to get to the hookup? That's all cheating too.
Yeah, but not going out to the bar with your buddies.
Well, guys and girls are two different things, really. If you think about it, you got to understand that there is a big difference. A lock that can be opened by many keys is a poor lock. Would you agree?
I guess.
But a key that can open a lot of locks would be a really good key worth some money, right?
Yeah.
There you go. But what else? What else you got?
I just said, if you hook up with somebody.
So just hooking up with somebody?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, if you were flirting with somebody else.
What about if I wore a...
Okay, chat, I have a question for you. What's your definition of cheating as well? Because, see, me, I always take it a step deeper. I don't think that cheating is even just the physical; it's also the emotional, right? So I actually think, to me, to be honest with you, I always think that the emotional cheating is like the gateway drug to the real cheating. So whenever you sense emotional cheating happening, that's always like the first step to it going down. So I consider emotional cheating just as bad as the physical cheating, because I know like where that road leads down. And emotional cheating can, to me, emotional cheating can even be as simple as outsourcing your person, your go-to person, to be someone other than your partner. So for example, if you go through a situation at work, at school, with your family, the first person that you feel you want to go tell that to, express that to, have a conversation about that to, should be, in most cases, your partner. Now, in the scenario in which the person that you want to go to have those conversations is someone other than your partner, especially if it's someone of the opposite sex, then I consider that, as weird as it sounds, emotional cheating. Because if you're outsourcing that to someone else, that's your go-to person, you're going to start to feel and build an emotional connection with that person that is your go-to person. And that goes both ways. I think that if your partner doesn't end up being your go-to person that you genuinely want to tell stuff to when you're going through things, then I feel like you're with the wrong person. You're in the wrong relationship, to be honest, right?
Crazy Halloween outfit.
I mean, what are you gonna wear?
I don't know, some tight sweatpants, tank top.
I'd be a little freaked out.
Yeah, there you go.
But
See?
I wouldn't say you're
Do you think
cheating.
Halloween is your
Wait.
yeah, I don't know, some tight sweatpants.
I mean, what are you gonna wear?
I don't know, a crazy Halloween outfit.
I mean, what are you gonna wear?
I don't know, some tight sweatpants, tank top.
I'd be a little freaked out.
Yeah, there you go.
But
See?
I wouldn't say you're
Do you think
cheating.
Halloween is your one pass to dress like a,
I
or
didn't.
do you just do that every day?
Oh my god!
It's a simple question. I'm not accusing you.
I
I'm just-
did.
I was almost going to say maybe this is one of a version of his personal jokes, but he's kind of not joking. I don't think he's laughing, but he's not joking at all, actually. Which is interesting. So these are the type of things where, because you might actually go on a date and like a guy might be like talking like this, like, so it's not impossible for you to ever hear this on a date, but it definitely shows you like what his view or stance on women is. Also, it tells you a lot about the type of woman he's been experiencing and attracting a lot of, right? So, because he's talking about, okay, yeah, you go to the bar because you want to get girls, or sorry, you want to get guys and attract guys and things like that. But it seems like his understanding of women is also coming from whatever he continuously experiences all the time. But then the question becomes, why is he always around that type of woman if that is what he thinks all women are like, right?
Didn't dress like a at all this year for Halloween.
What were you?
Avatar.
Did you paint yourself blue?
Yes, me and my 2 friends painted ourselves blue. We had stuff covering us, like shorts and a shirt on. I mean, our stomachs were out, but nothing crazy.
This isn't gonna work.
Okay, wait. I'm okay. I'm sorry, because we're supposed to be serious. Because she said our stomachs were out, and bro said, "Oh my God, your stomach." Okay,
I mean, our
wait.
stomachs were out, but nothing crazy.
This isn't gonna work.
Is he being okay? Maybe he's joking. Let's assume that that's a joke. Chat. Maybe that's a joke. I think maybe that one might be a joke because the stomach. Unless it's for a religious reason, which he's not mentioned anything about religion, that's a pretty extreme, viewpoint to have. And this is these type of things. Again, I guess the word of the day is unsustainable. That is a very unsustainable way to go about a relationship. So now you're gonna have to dress and you can't even show your stomach. So what happens when you go to the beach? Like every day is gonna be a fight. Like I can guarantee you, if you were in a relationship with a guy, and chat, the reason I'm playing these type of videos, don't be thinking this is some super extreme. Oh my gosh, no guy thinks like this. No guy. I'm a guy, aren't I? So I'm telling you, there's a more guys than you think like this and are operating like this. But sometimes they might come to the date with a mask on, right? So you want to be listening closely to what they're saying and how they're saying it.
Jesus.
If you guys were dating and gone to a big fight, how would you go about resolving it?
If we were in a fight, I usually would resolve it by not answering for a while because I think it's better to have space before talking because I think it blows up quicker.
Don't you think you should get it off your chest while it's like in the heat of the moment?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Well, if you had any
I'll say
self-control,
something
you would be able to-
really mean.
You would be, yeah, well, if you had self-control, you'd be able to control yourself.
Right.
If you were mature.
But if you made me that mad, it's not going to come out nice at first. So normally I need to.
Okay, pay attention to something else here as well. So he's talking about, well, if you had self-control, you wouldn't get that mad. But you notice how a lot of times, and this is not to villainize him, I'm just wanting to break this down for you guys so you guys see what's going on here emotionally. He naturally plays a role of an antagonist, right? So if you notice some of the things he said, even in the beginning, hopefully she's not super stupid. She might be a little bit stupid. We're going to have to work on that. Da, 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 da. Even the jokes he makes about how she might dress, showing her stomach. Oh, it's not going to work, right? It's very antagonizing. But think about what he said. He wants a woman with emotional control, but he plays a very antagonizing role. So how sustainable is that? Right? If you're going to be with someone that's constantly looking to trigger you and push your buttons, but then at the same time is expecting that you will just be stoic and never respond and never react, which I don't want you to react. I don't want you to feed and give a guy energy whenever he acts out or says something crazy. But at the same time, right? If you're with someone who's constantly pushing those buttons, it's going to be very difficult.
Sit for a little bit on it.
What would you sit? Would you sit with your girls and be like, oh my God, he's such a...
No, I'd sit with my dog in my bed and say, this kid's an asshole.
Hell yeah. If we got into a big fight, I would resolve it by, first of all, it probably wouldn't be my fault, but...
Yeah, sorry, this is a little bit cooked. This is not making us look good. It's a little bit cooked. I didn't think he would come and say this type of stuff. But this is a good exhibit here to show you guys what it looks like when you go out on a date. Because see the thing is too, I want you to really take this part in. See, I know we're watching this, so from a third person's perspective, you're not into the guy. So when he's saying this stuff, you're kind of like, whatever, he's a narcissist. Like, I would never date a guy like this. But when you're on the date with the guy, right, I want you to also imagine this.
Resolve it by, first of all, it probably wouldn't be my fault.
So he's saying these things, but he'll have like a smile on his face. So this is the problem, right? You might go on a date with a guy and he's talking this way, But instead of listening to like his words in that sense, you're more just listening to the feeling you're getting around him. So he's smiling about it. Ha ha ha, it'll be your fault. Ha 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 ha. So you're thinking, oh, he's like joking, like he's not actually serious. But he actually is serious. He's just telling you how he really feels behind a smile. So that can be kind of the confusing part, because if you go out with the guy you think is attractive and you go out with the guy who you go on this date and you want to like him, when you're listening to him tell you his perspective, when you're listening to him tell you his opinions, you might actually make the mistake of taking in what he's saying seriously as, oh, he's not that serious about it, because that's too ridiculous, that's too extreme. But that really is him confessing, like, I actually don't think it'll be my fault if we have an argument, or for most of the part, it'll be not my fault, or it'll be your fault if we do get into an argument or a disagreement.
I would resolve it by, first of all, it probably wouldn't be my fault. But if it was, I'd try and gaslight you first and think you were a problem, and then I would.
Once again, he's not joking. He's like saying it like it's a joke, but he's actually like being for real.
If that didn't work, then I'd probably just be like, yeah, whatever.
I hate being gaslit.
Why?
Why? Because it just fires me up.
So this is the thing. This is the crazy part. And okay, I don't want to give too much away here, but I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a secret here that a lot of people won't. Maybe I'll have a whole show about this. See, he's doing the new, I call it the new era player stuff. Okay, this is the new age of player. What he's doing here is he's saying something toxic with a smile. This is new era stuff. Okay. And the reason that guys do this is because they have learned over the course of time, right? It's a learned behavior, that if they say toxic things with a smile, it'll make them stand out in your mind a little bit more, right? Because it's like, oh my God, what type of guy would have the audacity to say this type of stuff? And some of you are even thinking, damn, the audacity of this guy to say this type of stuff. But the problem is, let's say they weren't having a blind date here and they were actually meeting each other in person, right? And she was attracted to this type of guy's looks. Oh, he's got the blue eyes, right? And he's like a country guy. Let's say that was your type. As he's saying these things that are outlandish and you're like, damn, the audacity on this guy, right? Even though they're toxic, when he's saying it with a smile, it kind of has the opposite effect. So some of you might not be attracted to this guy, so it's not working on you. But if you were on a date with your type of guy and he's saying some really outlandish stuff, but he's smiling about it, so you almost feel like it's a joke and you're kind of laughing about it because you're slightly uncomfortable, but slightly like WTF, but slightly like, who does this guy think he is? Guys learn over the course of time that certain women, they can pull this off on, because even though the response to this is supposed to be, I don't F with you, I'm never talking to you again, they realize that some girls will end up responding to this like, okay, you're kind of a bad boy because you have so much audacity to say such outlandish, crazy stuff that I'll actually entertain you because you stand out in my mind for having this much audacity. And some of you are probably thinking, oh, I would never do that, Thompson. I'm so much more mature than that. That would never work on me, but it does. This is not an accident, what he's doing. This is a learned behavior. And sometimes if you go on the date and you're too focused on like, oh, I'm really attracted to this guy, I'm into this guy, whatever his looks, he's smiling, he looks like he's having a good time, you'll forget what he's saying is actually serious, and there's a strategy, there's a method to the madness, right? As he's saying more and more outlandish things, you almost get to the sense of like, damn, like who does this guy think he is? He must really be, you almost start confirming that he must really have something if he really is that bold in terms of just saying whatever he wants and not trying to be politically correct or not trying to even be nice about it at all.
No, we could do a friendly, like, gaslighting battle.
There's no friendly way to gaslight.
Yeah, there is.
What's one example of when you gaslit a girl?
You could be like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Another good one is whenever she comes at you for, like, she talks to her friends and she's like, none of my friends' boyfriends treat me like this. And then you're like, well, I mean, I see where your priorities are. It's obvious that you trust your friend and you care about your friends more than you do us working out. And since you don't want to fight for us, then that's all right. You can go your way.
Jesus.
Once again, he's smiling about it, but he's serious about it. This is actually a strategy. So I'm actually wondering, chat, let me know, what do you think in the chat here? Do you think this is working on her? Or do you think that this is like not working on her? Because obviously she's kind of required to be here because they're doing a show, like it's a blind dating show. It's just them together. And I don't think she can actually see him. But I'm wondering if this is actually working on her. Because like I said, he's not doing this for no reason. This is a learned behavior, what he's practicing. It's a strategy where you go on your date, right? Where you meet a girl and you say really outlandish stuff. You smile about it. You basically gauge, is she attracted to you or not? You go the outlandish route. And some girls with their own trauma, some women with their own like demons that they need to work through, they will eat this up. So I'm telling you, this is a learned behavior. It's not an accident.
What about you? What's your best gaslight?
I'm not trying to gaslight my boyfriend.
Well, I know women do try. Succeeding or not is another story, but what is your
I am not women. I'm me. I do not gaslight my boyfriend if I have one.
All right, that's a great attribute.
What's a red flag you see in a guy?
A red flag I see is clingy.
All right, I agree with that because a lot of the times I have a really busy schedule. I work 24/7 a lot.
Doing
Did he say what he does? I don't remember what he said that he does for work.
what?
I do landscaping. I work a lot and I'm not going to be able to text you back all the time because I'm doing something, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody that gets mad about that, that's obviously going to be annoying. But at the same time, you can't just be a ghost, you know what I'm saying?
Fair. I'm not a big texter either, so I completely understand that viewpoint.
No, I don't typically get mad at that unless it's like a day. Then I'm going to be a little pissed off.
What does your normal day consist of?
Going to class, coming home, hanging out for a little bit, and then I usually hang out with my friends. Nothing crazy. Unless it's the weekend, then go out, I guess.
Oh yeah, of course. My day is, I appreciate you asking. My day is, I wake up, go to the gym, do some cardio, work till 6:30, whenever. Then go back to the gym and do an actual lift. Go home, bully my little brother, eat, and then go to sleep.
Why are you bullying your little brother?
Because he'll probably call me on some dumb shit throughout the day, and I'll have to yell at him. And on weekends, sometimes we're free, but sometimes we have to work too. So
Wait, so you do go out on the weekends or you don't?
No. Oh shit. Last time I went out was Halloween.
So another question that would be good to ask a guy like this is, what do you do for fun? Like, what do you do on the weekends? Actually, that's a great question. Like, whenever you go out on a date with anyone, to ask them, what do you like to do for fun? In your spare time, when you're not working, when you don't have any other responsibilities, what do you enjoy to spend that time doing? And don't let them escape with like, I don't know, I just hang out, I relax, I sleep. Like, tell them to give you an actual activity. Because if they don't have one, that's also something to take note of. Like, people should have interests outside of their work. Number one, because that also keeps them alive, keeps them busy, and it doesn't allow them to fall into the trap of, this is the problem. If you get to every weekend and you don't, like, you literally, not even that you're tired, you just don't have any direction as to what you want to do with your time outside of working, it becomes very easy, especially for men, there's something to take note of, to fall into the trap of spending your time looking for something to do. So, you know how like your parents will say, oh, they don't want you out at night wandering the streets? Because when you have a lot of time on your hands, you start to look and you start to get into trouble that way, because you're just kind of like wandering and like, I don't know what to do, just figure out something to do. I'll just go hang around, do something, right? And you're wandering. That's how they say the devil gets you. What's that saying again? The devil works. An idle mind is the idle mind is the devil's playground. That's the saying that they give. But that's why I say that, right? Like, your guy, even you as well, should have like some actual real interest of things they enjoy to do and spend their time doing that are fun to them, enjoyable to them, that they see as like leisure time for themselves outside of work, right? Because that's how you continue to keep the mind busy without necessarily always having to work, as opposed to, okay, I have a couple of days off, I don't know what to do now. Maybe I'll download Snapchat. Maybe I'll download Hinge. Oh, my girl's out. She's with her family. I'm at home alone. I don't know what to do now. I don't have any friends to hang out with. So maybe I'll just go to the bar and see where it goes from there, right?
Where'd you go?
I went back to my hometown in North Carolina. That's where
You came here from North Carolina?
Yeah.
Holy, where?
No. I live here.
Oh.
One red flag is Just one, I would have to say just attention seeking, you know what I'm saying? Like in all the actions she does, her Instagram, how she carries herself. You can tell, you can smell it you can see it and you can smell it on girls.
Well, my Instagram stuff.
So he keeps saying attention seeking, right? Something to pay attention to. So he talked about Instagram. I'm assuming, obviously, he did talk about earlier the way she dresses. She can't have any sort of guy friends and things like that. But at what point? So a good question to ask a guy who says something like this is, what is your definition of attention seeking? Because he just said generally, oh, you can smell it on them. So you can really hone in on exactly what he's trying to say, because my estimation of what he's really saying is my expectation of you. You don't follow no guys on Instagram. That isn't your family. That's essentially what he seems like he's saying. I expect you to not be posting any sort of pictures in anything revealing. You got to be completely covered up from head to toe in all of your pictures that you post. You definitely shouldn't be posting nothing that's too revealing or whatever the case may be, right? You definitely, like he already said, shouldn't be hanging out, having any sort of guy friends. You shouldn't even be going out. So I don't even know what type of pictures you'd be able to post if you don't even go out. So we're getting into the stage of like, this is like heavy isolation. You can't talk to anyone. You can't contact anyone. I really don't want anyone contacting you. Don't give people a reason to contact you. Don't go out really at all. If you want to hang out with your girlfriends, hang out with your girlfriends like in the house and never explore outside.
Definitely like that.
Damn.
Yep.
Kind of stinks over here.
If definitely like that.
Smell it you can see it and you can smell it on girls.
Well, my Instagram's definitely like that.
Damn.
Yep.
Kind of stinks over here.
If I look good, I'm gonna post it.
Yeah, for sure. But there's absolutely, I'm the same way. If I think I look good, I'll post it too. But there's also good ways.
Interesting that he would say that. So it's not like he's operating from a place of like, oh, I don't have Instagram, I don't have social media, I don't talk to no one on there. Interesting.
You can post where you don't look like a, you know what I'm saying?
So is a picture in a bathing suit?
There's just ways that girls take it, and you know what I'm talking about. There's different ways that you can do different things, just like there's different ways to skin a cat. Have you never heard that?
I wish they would have asked him to expand here instead of just joking it away. Never, chat, this is a class. This is an example when you go on a date, especially if you're trying to understand a man's thought process. I hate when people do this. Sometimes people try to do this to me and I'll be like, no, answer the question. Don't ever joke away a very important topic or a conversation to have. Because right now, like an example of this would be like a first date, right? You're going on the date and you're learning about that person's thought process, what they think about relationships, what they think about dating, what their perspective is. So this is one of those places where it would be really, really pertinent and important to get the details on like, what do you consider to be just being out there or putting yourself out there or would be inappropriate for a relationship, right? So that you can have crystal clarity on what his thought process is, what his expectations are in a relationship, and if you guys are aligned or misaligned in that, right? Not just laugh it away as like, oh, you know what I mean. No, I don't know what you mean. Tell me exactly what you mean. Give me an example of what you mean.
That?
No, skin a cat.
No, it's a saying. It's like there's a million ways to skin a cat.
So there's a million ways you can post an Instagram picture in your bathing suit.
You can post pictures.
I can think of a lot.
You use different styles to do certain things, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
What's 2 things you hate about your past relationship?
2 things I do hate is
This is great.
She would try and say like funny little things that would piss me off that she thought were funny, but she knew would piss me off, and see.
But okay, so I listen to everything, right? Remember what he said at the beginning? Oh, my jokes, I like to make jokes that are a bit more personal, not a bit more personal. He said a lot more personal. And you better be able to take my jokes that are personal. That was literally something that he said is a requirement of being around and with him at the beginning. And now he's quite literally saying one of the things I hated about my last relationship is that some of the jokes she would make literally peed me off. So again, I'm not saying that this guy's a bad guy, but then this is an example of like lacking self-awareness because he doesn't realize what he said he hates about his ex-partner or ex-relationship is quite literally exactly what he said should be the expectation from him in his relationship. So it's not even in some of these cases, like I wouldn't even say it's always necessary to point it out. Well, in some cases I would point it out. But these are some things that you have to be like, okay, so when you're listening, you're like, oh, he doesn't even see the connection here, right? He's not even self-aware enough to be able to understand. He's literally saying exactly what he said he does. He doesn't even realize it.
Two things I do hate is she would try and say like funny little things that would piss me off that she thought were funny, but she knew would piss me off, and see if I would get mad in front of her friends. So that pissed me off. And then, yeah.
I actually even want to, so that was 1556. I want to go back to it because he said it and it was literally word for word, bar for bar, exactly what he just said. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Where'd it go? I won't be able to find it, but he said it.
Oh my God. What do you think?
And then, yeah, pissed me off, and see if I would get mad in front of her friends. So that pissed me off. And then, yeah, acting like.
Oh my God. What do you think?
All right. Oh, my opinion.
Oh, good question.
My opinion can be a multitude of different things. You can be an over the phone that doesn't actually like go through with it and sleep with people, but you're still, you know what I'm saying? Or you can be the low key one that nobody would suspect, but is actually.
But what is over the phone to you? What, like, I wish you would describe it. Oh,
like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
A
In
low
that kinda
key
way.
crazy. That's a new one. So how are they low key and crazy?
Like she doesn't present herself as a, but like, you know, you'd be like, damn, I would have never thought that. You know what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Well, I don't know how else to explain it to you.
Okay.
For those of you wondering what they're saying, that is not being repeated. It's WHORE. Okay.
Two things I hate about my past relationships is I don't like being with somebody constantly all the time and having to text them all the time. Another thing, I feel like I was kind of gaslit in past relationships, so I'd prefer that not happen again.
What's your definition of in a man, not, or a woman? You
In a
can do
man,
both.
I feel like for guys that are, they're always sneaky, but like at the same time, you know they're like hooking up with a bunch of different girls. Like,
How do you know?
you can just tell by the way they act when they walk up to you and they're like, I can get you. Like, they know, like they think they know that they can hook up with you, but they can't.
It could just be confidence.
No, it's cockiness.
There's a fine line. What
There's
about
not.
women? What do you think? What do you think? I know you girls sit around and
I'm a
like,
girl's girl. I'm not about to talk about girls. They can do what they want.
all right.
When and how did you lose your virginity?
Jesus Christ. I lost my virginity when I was 15 at one of my friend's house in a guest bedroom. Virginity when I was 15 at one of my friend's house in a guest bedroom.
Was it your boyfriend at the time? Or?
Yeah, it was my boyfriend at the time.
Man, 15. Start them young.
Jesus. I didn't think it was that bad.
I always say if
15 in a guest bedroom. Okay.
If your body count's more than your age, then you have a serious problem. And I live by that, man. At least for women.
Oh, so men can have as many bodies as they want?
Like I said,
Grimy.
back to the key.
That's grimy.
The key argument, but
With the keys.
no, I do agree. There's obviously a guy if he has a crazy amount is but I think it's more important when girls have lower than guys for sure.
So when did you lose your virginity and how?
I lost my virginity when I was 17. I was not that young.
Oh my
It
God.
was normal. I went over to one of my friend's house, saw this girl, and then we got really faced, and yeah, it's pretty bad.
Romantic.
You can't let these kids hang out, man. Boy, I tell you, boy. You can't be letting these kids hang. Whenever they just hanging out, that's when they always get into trouble. Anyways.
17's still young.
15's even younger.
So?
That's not even the age of consent yet.
I consented to another 15-year-old, so it doesn't matter.
Still, that's crazy.
So what is your body count, and does body count matter to you?
My body count is 19, and yes, body count.
You think he's telling the truth, Chad, or you think he's lying? Do you think he's telling the truth, Chad, or you think he's lying? He's just said his body count is 19.
Count matters to me. because it says a lot about a person.
My body counts 11, and no, it doesn't matter. Unless it's like excessively high.
Why do all girls...
Do you think she's lying, chat, or you think she's telling the truth? He said 19, and she said 11. Just, we don't know them. Just curious what you guys think.
Girls say it doesn't matter, though. Because it obviously matters to a point. There's got to be a point where...
They didn't say their age, though. I can't remember if they even said it at first. I'm assuming they're in their mid to late 20s.
They're like, all right, nah.
That's what I'm saying. If it's like...
So where's your cutoff point? When you're like, damn,
I'd
I need
say
to slow
like
down.
40 for
40?
a guy.
Okay, what about a girl?
Girls can do what they want. They can have as many bodies as they want.
What about you?
Doesn't
What's your
matter.
personal beliefs on
I would like to not exceed 25 before I get married.
When do you plan on getting married?
I don't know. I'm not even anywhere close to a relationship, so I can't tell. Hopefully before I'm 30.
Yeah, see, I want to get rich before I get married.
That's a good idea.
Get rich and get all my ducks in a row, and then I can think about getting married. But then still, that might be when I'm 30. And
But then the question would be, what is your plan to get rich? You got to ask guys that question whenever they say, guys love to hit you with, oh, I'm trying to be a millionaire. Oh, I'm trying to get rich. Oh, I'm trying to buy a Lambo. Oh, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Okay, you trying to do that. How are you trying to do that? That's fine. How are you trying to do that? And if they're stumped when you ask them how they trying to do that, then you know you're dealing with a waste man, as we say in Toronto.
my wife at the time, it better not have more than 20 bodies. Not that. More than 10 bodies.
I have one more, or I'm out.
Yes, you better be smart.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how freaky are you? And what's the freakiest thing you've ever done in the bedroom?
Scale of 1 to 10, how freaky am I? I would say
What do you think his answer is going to be right now?
I'm down for really whatever. But as long as it's not some crazy shit, obviously. Keep it like within reason. Obviously no submissive stuff. I'm not going to be submissive. Freakiest thing I've ever done is...
You didn't even answer the scale, but I'm assuming that based on that sounds like a 6. That sounds like a 6. The way he just described that.
I had to use olive oil one time as lubricant.
That's not really that funny. That's kind of dangerous. You can throw off someone's pH balance by doing that. That's not as okay, whatever. Who cares, right? No one cares. No one cares.
So foul.
It's not.
Yes.
You really think about it, it's all
Olive
natural.
oil?
It's all natural.
It doesn't matter.
And it's extra virgin.
Not for you or her, unless it was a boy. What's the question? Scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how freaky are you?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say like a 6.
You have to say it. That took a lot for me to say that.
Okay, well, it's nothing compared to that.
All right, what is it?
I don't think I've done anything that crazy. Like, that's not normal.
Would you?
Boring.
Would you or not?
I guess it depends.
See, my
In the
thing is,
moment.
the girl has to initiate it, because if the guy does it,
I honestly think they're probably pretty similar on the freakiness scale, because I'd probably say max she's going to is 6. I don't know her, obviously, but based on what they've talked about here, I'd say max she's going to is 6. Max he's going to is 6, and he's not doing nothing to pleasure really her. Like the freakiness that he's doing is freakiness that pleasures him. I don't know if he's even going past a 2 if it's freakiness to pleasure her, to be honest with you. Just my opinion.
it's weird. Would you agree with that?
No.
Why?
I mean, why can't a boy initiate something?
Because if the boy says some outlandish shit, the girl's gonna be like,
I'm like the freakiness guru. That's how I know these things. It's like a sixth sense. I can smell it. Okay, I can really smell it and sense
oh
it.
my god.
Well, same thing with a girl. A girl can say something outlandish.
Nah, guys would probably just be like, nah, and roll with it. But they wouldn't start freaking out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I'd start freaking out. I'd just be like, no. Skip, next one.
He's a 5, but he's rich and famous.
He's a 10. That's a big plus. Rich and famous.
You're
Okay.
a gold digger.
Yeah.
No. But if he's famous, I can get famous.
What would you get off of being famous?
Money.
How would you get money?
Being famous from my rich and famous husband.
All right.
You're telling me you wouldn't date a rich and famous girl if you had the opportunity?
Hell no.
No, that's me though. No.
I asked.
If I actually had the option between a beautiful, smart, intelligent woman who was a private citizen and a beautiful, smart, intelligent woman who was a public citizen or a celebrity, rich and famous, I would choose the private citizen every time.
I'm going to be too rich and too famous to handle two of us. Actually, I really
So
don't
if
care
you
if I'm
become rich
famous.
and famous, what are you gonna put your wife in a closet so she can't be famous neither?
No, she'd be famous for being my wife.
That's so. That makes me mad.
Why does that, hold on. Why does that make you mad? I did
What?
all the work to get rich and famous.
Yeah. So
You're welcome
what
for
if you
making
have a
you
pretty
famous to
wife?
be
She
my
can't be
wife.
famous too?
No, I'm saying she can be famous, just she's famous for
Okay,
being
but
my
she
wife.
doesn't have to be famous in your shadow.
Well, then she should have made
That's
her
cocky.
own.
Cocky.
Well, so this is an interesting answer. My answer is actually the same. Like, I don't want a rich and famous woman. My reason is a little bit different. I would say this is a point to ask someone if you were to have this discussion. Like, for example, my reasoning is I wouldn't want a rich and famous woman because, well, just famous. Let's just say famous, because I would rather have someone who is a contrast to me. If I'm like a content creator, a YouTuber, and all this stuff, I'd rather have someone who contrasts my personality that can keep me more grounded, as opposed to someone who's just gonna like be a double of me, and then we're never gonna be able to have any sort of grounding in our relationship because everyone's kind of living in this world that's just not very representative of what other people are going through. I need contrast in my relationships. I can't have an echo chamber. It doesn't work for me.
She cast her own shadow.
She's a 9 but has an OnlyFans.
0. Do you not agree with that? Is that misogynistic of me?
Yeah, if a girl wants to make money that way, she wants to make money that way. Let her
Okay,
live.
so would you compromise your morals for money?
Depend how broke I was.
This is a great question to ask people in general. Actually, I'm surprised that he asked that question because that's pretty introspective, and that's a question you should ask guys as well. It brings me to a different idea. When you go on your date, if you're talking to a guy and the guy is telling you how he basically cheats on at work, like cheats on his job. Like, for example, let's say he's figured out a way to clock in and get an extra hour out of each and every shift without his boss or manager realizing, and he just does that every time for extra pay, right? It's just a scheme that he's come up with, and he's telling you about how he discovered this scheme to be able to like basically defraud the company because he knows how to get extra money without actually having to work for it, right? These are things that you should take in because like if a guy is willing to cheat on his job or at his job, then that's a personality type, and you have to get good at connecting stories of people in their and how they approach their life in other aspects to like how they'll more than likely approach their relationship, because it's the same personality that will cheat at the job to get extra money even though he shouldn't be, that will also cheat on their wife, right? It's definitely something to pay attention to.
So you would.
If I needed money to live and pay my rent, yeah. I mean, you don't have to show your face and stuff like that. Your name doesn't have to be on it.
Okay, but that doesn't change anything.
Have you thought about making an OnlyFans?
Never?
No.
What if I had an OnlyFans and I was like really rich on it?
Live your life, girl.
No, if I'm me, a guy.
Yeah, I know.
What if I
I
had a
just called
really
you girl.
rich, a great, huge thing, and I was like, yo, you want to make some money real
As
quick?
long as it's just on OnlyFans and I don't have to see it on your Instagram, go for it.
I don't think it'd be allowed on Instagram. He's a 10 but doesn't have a job.
He's a 5.
Because if he doesn't have a job, he wouldn't be rich famous.
Well, no, then I would have to pay for things, and that's just.
Yeah, and then you have to start an OnlyFans and compromise your
No, I have a job, buddy.
Yeah, but you aren't working right now.
Yeah, that doesn't
So
mean
who's
I don't
paying
have
your
a
bills?
savings.
Okay. Don't get mad. I'm just asking.
Acting like I'm just gonna pop up one day on OnlyFans.
No, I never said that. I was
I bet you
asking
would be
you.
looking too.
You're the one you're the one that's digging yourself into this hole because you're the one defending it.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, if
You'd
a
be
girl
like,
wants to do
"Absolutely
that,
not. I would
she
find
can.
another way."
But I also bet if I did, you'd be looking at it.
Well, yeah, no. I would never pay for that. That's
Freudian slip there.
crazy.
You never know.
No, I do know. So mine is pretty simple and respectful. I have the 4-foot little measurement thing to tell her height because she's giving off like a lot of energy, like she's angry. So that's why she probably has little man syndrome. I put her in like kind of like a dress, but I made sure her stomach was completely exposed. And I put a big frowning face.
Gave him long hair because he looks like he
So this is their views of each other so far, because they haven't actually seen each other in person
has
yet.
longer hair. Not like fade. Doesn't have that. There's no way. He has no eyes. Couldn't figure it out.
I did not put any eyes on me because I can't see you for your worth or whatever.
I'm gonna punch him through the wall.
All right, go into detail.
You don't really have anything going on. I didn't give you a height. But the way you
Any
act
clothes?
is a way a 5'2" man would act.
Damn it.
Just a little
got
bit.
me. You got me. Now I am pretty
Because you're
short.
snarky. Is that
So I want to see when they actually meet, because I'm curious if it's going to change her perception of him when they finally actually get to see each other in person here, and I think that's coming up in a
a
second.
little crazy?
Do you think she's acting this way because it's in a different environment normally?
She's probably acting this way because she's getting attacked, obviously. I'm coming at her. If it was somewhere else, like at a bar or something, she could easily just walk away, but this she has to kind of face it and fight back, which makes...
Okay, chat.
I think
Here comes the reveal. They're about to meet each other in person. Now, tell me, based on how you saw her react and respond, and based on what he looks like and what she looks like, do you think that she's actually gonna, because I don't even know the answer to this, do you think all of that is gonna work on her and they're gonna go on a date? Or do you think it's not gonna work and she's gonna be like, nah, forget it, I'm just gonna, like, whatever, like, I don't want you? I'm curious what you guys think, because I'm not sure this is actually gonna go how we all think it's gonna go. I'm a little bit concerned she's gonna see him and she's not going to stand on business, as the kids say. I wonder what their height difference is there.
it went fantastic. I had a great time.
It did go good. I was laughing, so that's
I think it went fantastic. I had a great time.
It did go good. I was laughing, so that's good.
Yeah. She
Is there
was laughing
anything-
along with cussing.
Is there anything you guys want to know about each other before you see each other?
Oh, where are you originally from?
Originally New Hampshire.
Okay. How old are you?
21.
Okay.
How old are you?
22.
Okay, that's good. I was worried you were going to stick me here with an 18-year-old.
Yeah, me too.
You can take your blindfolds up in 3, 2, 1.
Hey,
Oh,
how's it going?
Good, how are you?
You look good.
Thanks, so do you. I heard the boots.
Damn.
I'm not 4 foot,
No, yeah, but you're good and short.
5'6".
I like them short. And we're matching. So,
We are matching. I just need boots.
did you actually think I was short?
No, you just acted like a short.
So what do you guys think about each other?
I think she's a good looking girl.
Yeah, he's good looking. He's tall. That's good.
So, what are we thinking? Second date or no?
We can go on a second date.
Just give me a second. We're gonna have a discussion. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a talk. We're all gonna have a talk here, because this is a very important lesson for us to all learn together. Okay. Oh boy. Oh yeah. All of you sit down for a second. We're gonna have a discussion, because I need to tell you guys something. Let me tell you something right now. We're gonna have a nice little discussion here. Get your blanket out. We're gonna have a talk here. Okay. All right. Let me explain to you what is happening here and what this does, okay? And why this is happening. I talked to you guys earlier, like halfway when we were watching this, because some of you are like, why are we watching this? What's the point of this? Oh my gosh, it doesn't make any sense, right? And I can smell it. I was starting to get the sense, because at first I was like, oh, he's saying such ridiculous stuff, this is not going to work. And then I realized something. I got back into guy mode, and I started observing her from my own perspective and understanding of women. Like I said before, what he was doing is not an accident. There's a method to the madness, right? It's a learned behavior. And I tell you guys this all the time because you guys ask me, well, why do guys act like this? Why do they take advantage of us? Why do they act like a-holes? And I tell you guys all the time, guys aren't inherently evil, but they're opportunists. So they become opportunists by basically going into these situations and saying, how do I get what I want out of this situation? And what's the quickest and most efficient way to get what I want? So when they want access to women, they're always coming up with new and different strategies on how they can best get access to women. Excuse me. So long story short, a guy like this, right, in the process of him meeting women and getting to know them, he obviously is faced with the conundrum of how do I approach a woman? What do I say? What's going to be my foundation? How should I talk? How should I, go about the situation in a manner that gets me the best and most efficient result? What he's learned over the course of time is that if I tell them straight up, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, I have all these rules, and I say stuff that's super outlandish and I smile with it like it's a joke, like it's whatever, and I make them laugh, even though it's super toxic and even though it's super outlandish, some women will be really deterred by that, right? They'll just be like, oh, I would never date you. But some women will respond to that, right? And what he's realized is if he goes on the extreme, by going extreme with his verbiage, the way he says stuff and making it super toxic, whatever, that the women he'll turn off instantly. But the women that are attracted to that will be attracted to him in a way that such he'll be able to get and access them as quickly as possible, right? So this in itself, this is going to sound like really complex, is a strategy to basically weed out people very quickly who would never really be attracted to him and his personality, and attract people very quickly who have that within them, like the type of women that are not willing to just be like whatever, and they fall for the, oh, we smile about it, we laugh about it, we joke about it, even though what I say is like really toxic. Because if you think about it logically, all of you here who aren't dating this guy, and if you're not on a date with this guy and not necessarily attracted to this guy, then you're saying to yourself, why the hell would this work on her? But as weird as it sounds, in some cases, at some points, you are her, right? Because you find a guy that you're attracted to, or whatever the case may be, and then his approach might be, similar to his, where he might say some really outlandish things, but in a way that makes you feel like, oh, maybe he's not that bad. And it's a strategy that works. Because as he says that, it's so outlandish, you almost think that it's too ridiculous to be true. But this is the craziest part about guys. And, and I have to be honest with you. When they take the route of like, I'll be so honest that I'll almost like seem like I'm purposely trying to turn you off. Then in the future, when he does exactly what he was talking about, like gaslighting her, when he does exactly what he was talking about by saying, oh, you can't go out, you can't wear this, you can't wear that, and all the stuff he was saying on this first date, you know what she's not going to be able to say? Oh, but that wasn't your stance before. Oh, why are you just telling me this now? And like someone just said in the chat, he'll say, I told you what I was on. I told you what I'm about. I said that this was me. I said that all this stuff that I'm doing now that you're complaining about, why are you complaining? I already told you that that's who I am. And this is the problem, right? Now it creates a scenario. Let's say hypothetically they did actually date. She can't hold him accountable for anything that he's doing because he started off their relationship by saying, yeah, I don't do this, I don't do that, this doesn't work for me, I gaslight, I do this, I don't let you do that. And now when she tries to hold him accountable or be like, hey, I don't like this, or I want to change this, or this doesn't work for me, or this is unsustainable, he's going to say, I'm not changing a damn thing, right? Elena just said he set the tone early. So these are the type of things. What can you learn from this, right? When you go out on a date, be aware of this strategy, because he just used the whole strategy. This is a whole playbook, okay? Be aware of this strategy where they smile and they joke about what they're saying as if they're almost not serious about it, but they're very serious about it. And when they're telling you their perspective on things, when they're telling you how they go about relationships and their approach to relationships, believe them on that, right? And take that in as information to honestly decide to yourself, is that sustainable for me or not? not going into it with the expectation that, hey, because we're laughing and we're giggling, that, yeah, I'll just go on with this or go with the flow. And hopefully the stuff that he says isn't actually how he'll act in the relationship. Because I 100% guarantee you exactly everything that he said here is how he's going to act in the relationship. There's not going to be any difference there. But she's not going to get that rude awakening until she's actually with him. I want to see if she actually, what she says after this.
What are you guys gonna do?
We're gonna skeet shooting.
Okay, me with a gun. Great idea.
Tragic. 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 Look at this. This is what I'm telling you guys about, guys. This comment says here, the honest narcissism always works like a charm. I hate to tell you guys, or you girls, but I'm telling you, guys, they get together and they strategize about this stuff. What he just did is not an accident. He has learned from meeting other women, dating other women, and even his other guy friends, these strategies work. So the smartest thing for you to do is to not allow these type of things to work on you, because you will end up being her, okay? Going on a date with a guy who clearly is not going to treat you well because you're so focused like on your trauma and then not even being able to analyze situations that you don't actually realize what is happening, right? Lida says, but do you think being honest about what he wants is really a strategy? It is a strategy, because what he's doing is when he's saying what he wants in a way that's so outlandish, one, it makes him stand out. It also makes him seem, this is going to sound weird, it makes it seem as if he has more confidence because he's saying something that most people would never say out loud. And the fact that he's saying something that most people would never say out loud must mean that he's such a confident person, he doesn't care what other people think. So this is why, ironically, the covert narcissism, just like out in the open, can eventually have the opposite effect. Yes, it will turn some people who are emotionally mature and evolved off completely to the point where they might walk out on the date. But for some people who might not necessarily be at that level of emotional intelligence to really understand what's happening, they might actually fall for the trick, which is, you know, even though they weren't even seeing each other, he was doing what he would be doing on an actual date, which is saying all these things while laughing, making it seem like a joke. Haha, I'd gaslight you. I'd tell you you're wrong. I'd tell you you don't know what you're talking about. I da-da-da-da-da, right? Like, and he's saying it and he's laughing about it as if like, oh yeah, we're just playing around, but he's very serious. And he's being very upfront with everything that he's saying. And so it is 100% a strategy. And like I said, guys know what they're doing. So that's definitely something to think about. Okay. Let's go here. We have another video to discuss. So this one is a little bit of a different video style here. I just came across this randomly when I was on YouTube, and it had like 1 million views. So I thought it would be good for us to watch it together. There's a woman, she just, I don't know, her channel is called I Exist. And she made a video, it's titled My Life as a Loser. So I don't know what this is about, but I'm assuming she's going to describe her life as a loser. And we're going to see how we can kind of connect this to maybe your life and just how men perceive women and in the dating marketplace. Okay.
Hi, my name is I Exist. I'm 26 years old.
Oops. You guys know me. I'm always playing stuff on double speed. Let me put this on normal right here. Okay, there we go.
I am a virgin. I never got a college education. I still live with mommy and daddy. I don't drive because I'm too afraid to. I can't really tell you anything I've accomplished in life besides graduating high school, I guess. I haven't really done anything since then. I kind of have friends, but they're also my coworkers. I don't know if that counts. I've never dated before. I'm just kind of a big loser. I'm very lazy. I should clean my bedroom, but I don't, and I'm not gonna show you the mess. I spend way too many hours on the internet, but only on Discord and YouTube. I don't have any real social media because I'm too much.
That's exactly what we use, ironically, Discord and YouTube.
of a loser. I have nothing to show off on there. Isn't that what social media is about? Showing off your life? I have nothing to show off. So I just watch YouTube videos, and I have my own crappy little YouTube channel. You know, it only gets a few hundred views. I don't put much effort into my videos. I can't really be bothered to. I just guess I kind of prefer just having a small audience, maybe.
Okay, so one of the problems, listen, we all go through things, okay? Trust me, I've been there as well, feeling like a loser some days. But let me kind of point out to you some of the things that are going wrong here and some of the adjustments, because some of this might apply to you. And so I think it's good to kind of address some of these things. One, the attitude, okay, this is like a new Gen Z thing. And I actually want to have a discussion about this because it's something that's been on my mind. Gen Z is put in the water through all the videos that we'll make about life and just things. It's like for us as Gen Z, we find it so embarrassing to try that we like make fun of other people who try because that's so uncool. Why are you trying? That's disgusting. You try at anything in life? Wow, gross. Try hard. So the problem with that though is for the rest of us, we see that and that becomes the culture. And then we all start to collectively get scared as we're watching other people get made fun of for trying. That like, oh my gosh, I should stop trying. I should stop putting myself out there. I should stop doing anything. Like some of you might even be like, I don't post because I'm scared that nobody will like my stuff, or I'm scared what people will think when they actually perceive me. And so like a lot of the times it'll put you in a position where you won't try, but then also your entire life will just become whatever. Oh, whatever, you know, like, I don't want to try at this because if I try and if I fail, like, then people are going to laugh at me or I'll look embarrassing or whatever the case may be, right? But then you never stand for anything. You're essentially, it's like, my best way of describing it is like being a digital people pleaser, because you're not just a people pleaser in terms of like being around other people, but you're like constantly thinking about people pleasing even when nobody's around you. Like you're at home and you're thinking about people pleasing as it relates to what you put on your Instagram story. You're, you know, in your bed and you're thinking about people pleasing as it relates to what you post on your own YouTube channel. You're at home and you're thinking about people pleasing as it relates to what you talk about on your Facebook, right? Like, and this is how like you can get into, it's like a virus where then your whole life just becomes, oh, well, whatever. Like, I'll never try at anything. I'll never put my best foot forward at anything. I'll never stand for anything because I just don't want to be perceived. I don't want people to judge me. Nobody's judging you. In fact, you look even worse for not trying because then you end up, you know, in a position like this where you feel like you haven't done anything.
But, yeah, my channel is really pathetic and embarrassing too. I do not want people in real life to see my videos. I don't want to tell them I have a YouTube channel. It's called I Exist, and I just hang around in my bedroom and just talk about my problems or just talk about.
But see, this is the thing. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. Let me let you guys, because this is something I had to get through myself and realize myself. I used to think that what I did, people actually cared about what I did. Like, I used to actually think that. I used to think that, like, when I'm going out, people care about how I dress. When I'm, like, posting stuff on my Instagram, like, people care about what I'm Nobody cares. Literally nobody. Everyone is so concerned with what's going on in their own life. The only time they really even perceive you is in relation to themselves. For example, if you go to the gym and you see a girl who looks like she has a huge dump truck. Oh my God, dumpy, out of this world. You see her walking by and you're like, oh my God, that girl has the fattest booty ever. You don't actually care about her or her booty. What you really care about is her booty in relation to yours and where you want to be, okay? She is just literally serving as like a vessel to represent where you want to be, what you want to look like, and how close or far she is from where you want to be. Okay, so, but you don't actually care about her. You're not actually perceiving that girl. So it's the same concept though, but for you from the opposite perspective, you're thinking you go to the gym, all these people are looking at you, perceiving you, judging you, whatever. None of them are doing that. And the only people who are even possibly perceiving you a little bit are not even actually perceiving and looking or judging you. They're just looking at you as it relates to themselves and thinking about how whatever you have going on represents something in their own life. So it's literally never about you. Never.
Crap. Like, you know, like I don't really talk about much, I feel like. I just want to be a normal person. I don't want to be jealous of people all the time, which I am. Like, what's it like to have just a really nice YouTube channel where you can just confidently tell people the name of your channel and just not be humiliated by it? Like, I don't know why I even bother making these videos if I just find it so humiliating.
The only person that thinks that it's humiliating is you. Nobody else thinks it's humiliating. That's the craziest part.
I am just a big fat loser. I don't know what I want with my future. I do know I want to travel the world, but I don't see how that's ever going to be possible when I have crippling anxiety and I can't even like go to the store or go to a restaurant without freaking out and coming back home and crying, because it literally happens like pretty much every time. And you know, I hide that from people. I try to like seem like I'm normal, but really I'm not. Really, I have these problems. Anxiety.
You want to know the craziest part of what she just described, right? She's talking about like traveling the world or going to the store or things like that. You know what's crazy? And this is where sometimes it takes perspective to really realize like what's going and to pull yourself out of it. Let's say she goes to the store or she goes out somewhere and she has this crippling anxiety and she comes home and she thinks about it all day. You want to know what she's not thinking about? Any of the actual people she saw when she went out. All she's thinking about is how those people are thinking about her. But the reality is, none of those people are thinking about her. If anything, all of those people are probably thinking to themselves, oh, I wonder why that girl was looking at me so weird at the store. Maybe I had something on my lip. Or maybe I had something on my face. Or maybe she was taking a look at my huge giant pimple on my face. That's why she was giving me that look. Meanwhile, she's going home having crippling anxiety about the interaction she had at the store with someone who's not even actually thinking about her. That person's thinking about how you were looking at her pimple, and maybe that's the reason you were staring. That's the craziest part about that whole interaction there.
It rules my life. It really does. I also wish I was smart. I'm a very stupid person. Sometimes when people talk to me, I just don't even understand what they're saying. And I know it sounds crazy, but I don't know if it's because of the way they like word things. Like maybe I just like interpret it differently than what they meant, or I don't really know. But
Okay, so this is another thing. This is actually a really sad video. But if you go out, if you don't go out and you don't put yourself out there, it's it's a skill, right? It's like a muscle. Going out and being personable and being charismatic is a muscle. So you can develop it like you can train at the gym, but you can also lose it if you never do it and you never practice it. So if you're in for so long and you don't surround yourself around people, you'll lose the ability to interact with people. But I promise you, the more you go out, and it doesn't have to be to the club or to the bar, just in general, you will train that muscle of being able to be personable and charismatic and interact with people. But you can gain the skill. She just doesn't believe she has the skill, but it's a skill you can gain for sure.
all I know is I just feel like an idiot all the time. Like I have bad memory. I just say stupid things. Well, not really. I'm not too bad with that, but I make a lot of mistakes. I sometimes just find it hard to have conversations with people because I don't really have much to contribute to it, because I feel like I'm not very educated, if I'm being honest. I don't feel smart. I just feel like sometimes I just don't have things to say. Yeah. I'm also a big loser because I'm a leech. I live with my parents still. They pay the bills. I pay my rent, but it's not very much. And, I just take up space in this house, I guess. Okay, that's a little dramatic. I mean, I know my parents love me, but, I just feel like such a loser, you know? I feel like a loser because I have secrets. I have big secrets that I would never tell anyone for as long as I live.
What type of secrets you hiding, girl?
I can't tell anyone my secrets. Because people might get scared, or they might hate me, or just see me as a totally different person. Sometimes I ask people if they have secrets, and to my surprise, a lot of people say no, they don't. And I always just hope that they're lying, because sometimes I feel like the only one that has secrets, and I just don't like it. I want people to know who I am, but I guess really only in a world where I would be comfortable doing that, like in a world where people would just accept me for who I am. And well, it just isn't like that. So
I always talk to you guys about self-talk, and you guys wonder why I talk so much about self-talk, why I talk so much about like even things that are spiritual, like manifestation, the frequency you're on, your aura, and things like that. Because like the way you view and think about yourself, it surrounds you. It's like an orb that surrounds you, and you walk around with it. So some of you are like, oh, why are we watching this? This is super negative. I don't like this. And some of you are even like, as we're listening and watching this, some of you are feeling like really uncomfortable, because the craziest part about this is her energy is actually coming through the screen. And as she's talking, you're like feeling her energy. And so it's making some of you like really uncomfortable. But this is what I want you to recognize, how impactful your self-talk is to your energy, and how it will literally radiate through you to other people. So, and how it will also affect them in the way that they feel close or around you. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think this is actually a great video for us to watch, even though for some of you, it'll make you quite uncomfortable, because it'll make it easier to recognize how energy and self-talk and the way you view self will affect what other people feel that are around you.
yeah. I'm a loser because I don't know how to cook. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty loserish. Like, 26-year-old woman does not know how to cook.
But you can learn how to cook. There's plenty of resources. YouTube. You said you're on YouTube all day to learn how to cook, right? So what's stopping you from doing that? I'm not saying this to judge her, but these are the type of things where it's like, it's self-talk, right? It's not actually that you're a loser. It's that you just haven't bothered to apply yourself to anything. Like we talked about, the art of not trying in Gen Z. That's what we're in love with.
I know, I could learn, but it's complicated, and I'm not going to get into it. A lot of my situations are just complicated. You know, I have problems dealing with stress and anxiety, and a lot of people don't get that, because they say, how can you be stressed when you're not supporting a family, or, you know, you're still with your mom and dad, and it's not like, you know, and they're like, oh, you have all this money. I'm like, I'm not saying I have like a lot of money, but I have like a good amount. And like, you know, people are like, well, how come, you know, you seem pretty well off, but you're stressed? Like, what's stressing you out? Like, you just have a part-time job as a waitress. Like, what's stressing you? There's just things. I don't know what to say. There are things that stress me out. And I guess nobody really needs to understand that but me. I guess it really isn't anyone's business. No one would really understand unless they were in my situation. But I know I can understand why some people would think it's strange. Like, yeah, I get it. My life seems super easy and simple, but it's really not. There's some things going on, I guess. I feel like a loser because I always need attention from people. And sometimes I have trouble sleeping at night if I didn't get enough attention during the day.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. I don't think that, I think that's the first time I've ever heard someone say that like that. Interesting. Like, this is not a judgment on her, but that's quite intense to feel like you cannot sleep well if you don't get the right amount of attention during the day. She did say that she lives with both parents, right? So that's quite interesting. And some of you might be like, oh, well, that's super extreme. Like, I would never be on that level. But then, so this is the thing too, like when you go out in your dating life, and imagine if you have this belief of yourself, and you're like, I really need attention that much. How hard will it be to be in a relationship if you feel like you can't go to sleep unless you get the right amount of attention? What happens if your partner has work? What happens if your partner has to study for an exam? What happens if your partner has to, whatever the case may be, like has to just prioritize themselves in their own lives? What's going to happen to you? How are you going to survive? How are you going to sleep at night, right? And I'm not saying this to judge her or anything like that. It's just where I actually like listening to this because I know some of you don't want to admit it, but some of you might have had these type of thoughts before. So I want you to kind of see how it kind of looks from the other perspective, right?
That's why the internet is my best friend. I get lots of attention on there as long as I beg for it. Sometimes I feel like a loser because I'm not beautiful. I'm not hideous, but I'm not beautiful. Sometimes I feel like a loser because people call me cute. Oh, you're cute. Yeah, she's cute. Cute? That's not cutting it. I want to be called beautiful.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing because I actually hear a lot of girls say this, and I'll tell you from a guy's perspective, right? First of all, for guys, we're into a plethora of different things. So we're into, some guys are into bigger girls, some guys are into skinnier girls, some guys are into girls who are average size, whatever the case may be. Some guys are into blondes, some guys are into brunettes. There's all different types of people. So the reason I say that is because sometimes I think as women, you guys can get the feeling that guys aren't interested in you, and feel like, oh, well, no guy is ever interested in you. But the reality of it is guys all have their own versions of a type as well. But like we talked about earlier, the whole Gen Z mindset of like not trying is also going to put you in a tough position, because she's talking about not feeling beautiful, but then she also talks about not trying as it relates to her looks. And like I said, the reason that we're talking about this is because some of you might be in that position where you might feel some of the things that she's feeling, but not realize like what you're actually saying or what you're actually thinking might not necessarily be very logical from the standpoint of, well, if you're not trying to look beautiful, then how do you expect people to perceive you as beautiful? If you're not putting effort into your look and you're just adopting the mentality of whatever, then why do you expect people to treat you like, not just treat you like whatever, right? Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone has ever called me beautiful, unless I forgot. I don't know. But I'm tired of being cute. I want to be hot. I want to be sexy, beautiful, not just cute. And I'm such a loser. I'll never be any of those things because I don't dress very nice, and because I don't want to get my teeth straightened, and because I don't have a skincare routine, and all I do is brush my hair. I don't even use conditioner. All I use is shampoo, and I just brush my hair and that's it. I don't do anything else to it.
Isn't this crazy? I actually think this is very fascinating, chat. Sorry. She and this is the thing, because I've realized this about people in general, and I'm sure this will be you as well. We all secretly have literally the answers to our own questions and lives. The craziest part is most of the time, if we just took like a couple of minutes to sit down and think of like the most logical step towards solving our problem, we literally know the answer to our own problem. Look at this. She just talked about like a couple of things. She said, I'm not beautiful, right? She just mentioned like 5 things specifically that she can do and put effort into her look to make herself more beautiful. And she like so specifically, like she knows the answer to the question of how to make herself be more beautiful to other people. She just doesn't want to actually go through applying that those concepts and like doing those things. And that's the craziest part, is that sometimes you might be in a position where you think like, oh, I can't do this. I'll never be that. I'm never going to have the man that I want because I'm not pretty enough. I don't look like the supermodels. I don't look like the this and I don't look like the that. But the reality of it is you don't even need someone to tell you the answer to your question. It's not like you have some secrets that are hidden away from you. Like, and just like she, I guarantee you, a lot of you, if you sat down and asked yourself, what are the real solutions or most logical steps to your issues or problems, you actually have them within you. Just like she just mentioned. Watch, she mentions all of them.
Get my teeth straightened, and because I don't have a skincare routine.
So then get a skincare routine.
And all I do is brush my hair.
So then brush your hair, or do more with your hair then.
I don't even use conditioner. All I use is shampoo, and I just brush my hair and that's it. I don't do anything else to it. I'm so painfully basic. And I know I can change those things, but I just don't. And that's why I'm a loser. Only a loser complains about things that they want to change about themselves, but they're not willing to actually do it. I feel like a loser because when people tell me their problems, a lot of times I'm not even listening. Or if I am listening, I don't really care. And I wish I did, but a lot of times I just don't. I have to pretend like I care. And I don't need to be selfish, and I think I am selfish. And I think that's probably something that I really do need to change about myself. I feel like a loser because I've never dated. I had little online boyfriends and that's it, never in real life.
So, and like I said, this is not to be mean to her because I know she's just trying to share her honest thoughts, but this is it's a way. I want to use her as a vessel to help some of you like step outside of yourself and maybe see some of elements that may be in you that she might be discussing, right? Because for you, when you're watching this and you're watching her and you're feeling her energy, it's very clear to you why she probably has never had a boyfriend, because you're probably saying, I wouldn't even want to be your friend. No offense to her, right? In the way that she's kind of like really, really down on herself and really negative about herself. But the reason I kind of point that out is because like her energy that she's putting out is also attracting particular type of energy towards her, whether that be negative or positive. So these are things to be thinking about and thinking about considering, right? Even when I say things like, oh, when you go out on your dates, right? Make sure you come with the right energy. Make sure you're in the right headspace when you go out on your date, right? Don't be going out on your date when you've had your absolute worst day at work, worst day, you know, with your friends, going through a whole bunch of family, because you're going to bring that energy to your date as well. And then sometimes you might be wondering, why didn't that person connect with me? Or why did I feel like that date was off? Or why didn't that person like me? And sometimes that can also be part of it, right? The energy that you're putting out, right?
And I feel like a loser because I don't even know if I want to try dating in real life. If I want a boyfriend, I just feel kind of numb. I feel like, how do you explain that feeling? Do you guys ever just feel numb? You just feel like you don't really care much about certain things anymore, like, or you just don't have feelings about it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. But I never used to be like this. I used to be like full of love and passion and all that good stuff, and now it's just gone. And I don't even know if I'm straight anymore, or maybe I'm just becoming asexual or something. I don't know. But I feel like a loser, especially because I can't even figure myself out. I feel like a loser because I don't deal with holidays very well. The noise gets to me, all the talking, all the music. I know I sound like a Scrooge, but it really does get to me. Why can't I be like everyone else and just enjoy it and have fun? I try to, I pretend like I am, but really I'm not. Really, I'm just anxious. Really, I feel like I need to hide because I just want to be in the comfort of my bedroom. And yes, my bedroom is my favorite place in the whole world. And that's why I'm a loser. I want to go places. Right there, it's not really on the camera, but like I have a picture that I'm painting of Cape Town, South Africa, because I want to go there someday. But how can I when I just love being in my bedroom because I can hide in here. And it's my privacy, and it means everything to me.
Isn't this quite interesting though? She actually even knows where she wants to go. Like, you don't even have to ask her, well, what do you want to do with your time? Or where do you want to go? Or what do you think you could be doing? She knows exactly what she could be doing. She has the answer to literally her own question. It's just the block mentally of saying, I'm actually going to do it. Because why? Because why try? Right?
I love my privacy. I feel like a loser because I'm always fake. I always just try and get people to like me. And I don't know, I'm just a really fake person. I don't drive. I'm terrified of driving, yeah. My parents drive me around, you know, because I just don't want to do it.
How old did she say she was? How old did she say she was, chat?
And people judge me for that harshly. They make sure that I know that I'm a loser. And I'm like, yep, you're right. I am a loser. I know I should be driving. I should be independent. But I'm not. And this is just how it is.
Now tell me, chat, on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, what is this? She says she must say something here.
Full of activities and things that I just don't do, you know? I wish that my videos attracted more female viewers instead of lonely older men. I just feel
I love that she said that, actually.
strange that that's going on, you know? I just want to be normal and have normal people watch my YouTube, but no, I'm weird. I'm a strange person and I have strange people watching me. Sorry, guys.
I'm going to end it there. But I actually love that she ended on that. Not love it from the standpoint that I love that that's happening for her, but I think it crystallizes perfectly, exactly the point that I think this video can serve, which is that you will attract what you're putting out, even through a screen, as crazy as it sounds. So everything that she just described that she feels within her is exactly the type of people she's even attracting to her YouTube channel. And the craziest part about it is that she she doesn't really like the type of people she's attracting to her own YouTube channel. But the people that are attracted to her are the people that are in the same headspace, with the same energy, with the same aura, with the same thought process and belief of themselves that she has. It's literally a perfect example of you will attract like what you feel within, right? And so when people say, I don't chase, I attract, you do attract, but you attract exactly what you are and what you feel and what you believe of yourself. So I know that it kind of sucks when you're also thinking about the fact that you consistently might attract the same type of guy all the time. It seems like you're meeting the same guy and they say different fonts. Something to also think about, right? Literally this video, and it's crazy. This video is titled My Life is a Loser, and she basically ends the video by saying, and I only have losers watching my channel, and I hate that. I wish I could have normal girls watching my channel. But the crazy part is she doesn't realize that like all of you that are watching this, that are super uncomfortable watching this, would never want to be her friend. No diss to her, but with the energy that she has, you would never want to be her friend. You're very repulsed by this type of energy, right? Someone said they wouldn't watch this precisely, but it's a testament to how energy will make other people feel, how energy will repulse some people, and how energy will attract some people. So one, be aware of who you're surrounding yourself with, because you're also absorbing their energy. And also be very, 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 very cognizant of your own self-talk on a consistent basis. The moment you feel yourself trying to talk yourself down, oh, I'm not as pretty as these other girls, oh, I can't do this, oh, I'm not capable of that, you have to like shut that voice up. You don't exist to me, right? Do anything you can to drown that voice out. Don't let it become your self-talk, because as it becomes your self-talk, it'll just radiate through your pores. Every time, I want you all, whenever I say that terminology of like, oh, it's going to radiate through your pores, I want you guys to remember this video that we just watched, right? When I say radiating through your pores, this is what I'm talking about. People can feel that on you. And certain type of people will be attracted to that, and certain type of people will not be attracted to that. And it's definitely something to realize and take into account for your dating life, okay? Now, let's watch some other videos. Now, these are quite interesting, I'll say the least, because these are coming more from a place. These are on TikTok. And these are a couple of TikTok story times. So the way that these story times are going to work, these are women that have been through their own situations, more as it relates to dating. Now, I want us to kind of use these as a, I guess we could say like a mistake counter, because of the things that we discussed in the Players Club and for dating. I also want us to kind of like identify some of the places that this person might have went wrong in their story time. Because they're usually about dating and some sort of relationship, to kind of see, based on our teachings, how this actually looks in a real relationship. So this one is coming from a woman who is, it's like there's like three parts of it. It's going to be a who the F did I almost marry? And so she's kind of going to go through kind of similar to who the F did I marry, about a situation she went through with this guy she was engaged to, I'm assuming. Okay, so let's start off here.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I ended my 13-year relationship a few months before the wedding. Finally giving the girlies what they've been asking for. I posted a TikTok spilling some tea about my relationship a few days ago, and you guys have been requesting a story time, so here it is. This is actually my first time talking about it, but it's been some time now and I've healed, so I feel comfortable talking about it now. So a little backstory, I was with my ex for 13 years and engaged for a year. That's already a red flag. Why were we dating for an entire decade without tying the knot? But that's a whole nother story. So I met him my senior year of high school and he was just starting college. He was friends with my sister, so that's how we met. My parents loved him. I loved his family. So he finally proposed and I was literally over the moon. I had dreamt of this day my entire life, our entire relationship. So after the proposal, we did have an engagement party. So now it was time to plan the wedding. We went and looked at some venues, fell in love with one. We booked immediately. We had also booked a wedding planner and a caterer. And I decided that I was going to go to Pakistan with my mom to do all of the wedding outfits. So I was in Pakistan for 3 weeks and I ordered all my clothes and also was almost finalizing his stuff. My mom was going to stay longer to finish up everyone else's. So now I get to Dubai from Pakistan and I had a few hour layover there. So I'm literally just bored out of my mind. The funny thing was that I was messaging him and it was kind of taking him long to reply, and I'm thinking there was a 12-hour time difference, so I'm like, he should be like in bed. So I'm like, hello, where are you? And he's like, hi, and then he calls me a little bit later and then we talk and everything, and I'm about to board the flight. So then I tell him like, okay, I'm about to board, so I'll talk to you later, and he's supposed to be picking me up when I get home. Why am I shaking telling this story? Like, what is wrong with me? I'm totally okay now, but I don't know, just nervous. So I'm waiting to board my 13-hour flight from Dubai to SF, and I never checked my DM request on Instagram, and I don't know what told me that night. So I go to it and I click on the first request. It's from a girl, and as soon as I read the first few words, you guys, the way my heart literally sank, I cannot explain that feeling. My worst nightmare just came to life. So basically her DM said, your man wasn't fishing last night. He was with me. We went to a bar to get a drink. Nothing happened between us, but I realized that he was engaged. I'm so sorry. I just looked at your Instagram. You look like a beautiful person, and I just wanted to let you know. And he was posting that he was fishing on his Instagram stories, so that's why she said that. I couldn't believe that this is happening as I'm getting ready to board my flight after just ordering my wedding outfits. My bachelorette party was booked. Everything was booked. So my first thought was like, damn, I don't really want to seem insecure, like I don't trust my man by messaging her, but like I didn't. So I just replied, do you have proof? That's all I said. My heart was racing. I felt so sick to my stomach. Like, I can't even explain. So I called him back immediately. I got out of the line to board and I called him, and he's like,
Oh, this is the worst mistake. Oh, I hate when people do this. This is such a horrible mistake to me. Like, obviously, I never want any of you to get into like a situation like this. I hope you all have loving, caring relationships. But in the scenario in which you do suspect something might be going on, you never, ever, 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 ever call or text that person and let them know you're on to them until you gather all of your information bits. This is such a, like, trust me, as someone who's a pro in gathering information, this is such a huge mistake. You cannot let your emotions run you at that time. I know the first person you're going to want to call and want to speak to is your guy, but it's the worst person to speak to. One, because he's going to be able to talk you off a ledge and explain the situation away in a way that sounds more harmless, number one. And number two, now he's going to know that you're onto him. So he's going to be able to like cover all of his, like, you're on a 13-hour flight now. And now she's going to go and she's going to have to get on this 13-hour flight before she can actually see him again. And by the time she actually sees him, what do you think he's going to do? Clear out all the messages, all the evidence, call her up, tell her to get her story straight, block her, whatever the case may be, all this time to process and smooth the situation over. You, truthfully, if you want answers in a situation like this, you never talk to your guy. Make him feel like everything is A-okay. And in fact, if I were this girl, I would have told that girl, don't say a word to him, nothing, keep this between us, because you don't want to let your guy know that you're on to him at all. You can't say no. This is the worst thing to do.
Casual. Obviously, he's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "So, what were you doing last night?" And he's
that's not acting casual. That's the total opposite of acting casual.
Because we had just got off the phone, and he's like, "What do you mean? I told you I went fishing." And then I was like, "Okay, and before you went fishing?" And he's like, "Oh, I went to blah 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 bar to get some drinks with so and so." And he's like, "Why?" At this point, he already knows that I know something, because why did I just call back to question him? So I asked who was he at the bar with, and he named his friends, and I was like, "No, who else was there?" He's like, "Just us. You're crazy. What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "No, there was a girl there. Who was the girl?" He's like, "Oh, that's my friend's friend." I'm trying to get him to say the name. He's acting like he doesn't even remember the girl's name. He's saying some random names. And then in this time, I go back to her page to look at her, and I saw that he was following her. And then after I talk to him, I see he goes in and follows her.
Oh my God. Why would you? No, sorry, chat. It's just this type of stuff makes me mad. Because if you want to catch your man so you know the truth, like, do you really want the truth? Or do you want your man to lie to you? Oh, you know what? I forgot. Sorry. Let me calm down. I'm dealing with human beings. I literally just forgot. Okay. I was thinking, okay, you want the truth, so why are you not trying to get the truth? I realized, it just dawned on me. Subconsciously, she actually doesn't want the truth. Okay? Subconsciously, she just wants a comfortable, like, lie that's believable enough to, like, not allow her to stress or worry. Because if she really wanted the truth, she would have asked the girl, gotten all the information from the girl before ever calling her man. She didn't really actually, because what does she expect her man to do? Tell her exactly what happened?
So I'm like, "Oh, so you do know who I'm talking about, and you were following her until now you just went in and followed." So I just hung up because I knew
So what was the point of that? Now you prepared him for everything.
I was about to turn into a completely different person, and I was at the airport, so I hung up on him, waited for her to send me proof. And I'm like getting so scared and hoping that the flight gets a little delayed.
Wait, now this is such a bad way. Sorry, Chad. Now she's waiting to get proof after she spoke to her man that he can now clear the evidence and all the messages. And now he's also, if this was Instagram, right? He can also unsend any Instagram DMs he sent her.
So I get the proof before I hop on this flight. So then she sends me a random picture that she's in his car, and he has a Tesla, and I recognize his car and his hand. So I knew it was him. He is like messaging me, he's calling me, he's blowing on my phone. So I answer him, and I'm like, "So why was a girl in your car?" And you guys, the story he made up as to why this girl was in his car, like, he goes, "Oh, that was so-and-so's friend, and she's never rode in a Tesla. She wanted a ride, so I just like drove her to the bar." you're not in a Bugatti, okay? His lies were just getting worse and worse. He even had his friend, who is the biggest liar that I do not trust, send him a message saying, oh, that was so and so. So he's showing me screenshots like, look, he knows I would never do anything like that. And I'm like, okay, you want me to believe this liar? You guys, if I did not have proof, the way
I'm sorry, just the way guys will go about like covering up the lie. I'm sorry, it's just kind of funny. I have to be honest,
I
chat.
would have believed him, because the way he was manipulating me and telling stories, he's like, you know, I always run into your friends every time I'm out, which is true. He's like, you really think I would take some girl out to a bar knowing that I run into your friends all the time? And in my head, I'm like, he's got a point there. I don't think that if he was doing that, he would be at a bar.
This is why you talk to the girl first before you talk to your man. She's already confused now.
He would like go to someone's house. So I'm like, She had also sent me another picture, so I knew that them two were at the bar. But then I knew he was making up this whole story. He was lying. But if I didn't have that proof, I would have believed him, because his lies were so believable. He's like, I would never do that to you. Are you insane? Someone is lying. They don't want us to be together. You're crazy. I just tell him, I cannot believe you, and I'm done. We were getting ready to board, so I had to get off the phone. So he's blowing up my phone, sending texts, calls. I'm just ignoring it. And the girl sent me more messages. So I was fully aware of everything going on. I just sat in the plane and I was just numb. Like, I was shocked. I was numb. I couldn't even begin to process what the heck was happening with me. That entire flight for 13 hours, I just sat there like this. I didn't even recline my seat. I sat up straight like this for 13 hours. I just closed my eyes because I didn't want to be bothered. I did not sleep. I didn't listen to my music. I did not use the bathroom. I did not drink water, food, nothing. Kept hoping that I'm dreaming. This is a nightmare and I'm going to wake up any second. The guy on the plane next to me was so freaking nice, you guys. He tapped me to wake me up for a meal. I had already missed breakfast and lunch, and this was dinner time. So he tapped me. He's like, oh, you've been missing meals, so I got you a plate. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And he's like, you took something? And he had an accent, so I couldn't understand. So I'm like, huh? He's like, you took something to sleep like that. And I was like, oh no. And he's like, all natural? And I was like, yeah, natural. He was literally concerned for my livelihood. So I didn't want him to think I was some psychopath. So I tried to eat my meal and I literally felt like I was going to throw up. I had to stop. Okay, fast forward. Now I'm in SF, the worst 13 hours of my entire life, to say the least. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if to still have him pick me up. I still had one more flight to go. So I messaged him saying, do not pick me up. I'll figure it out. And then I was like, okay, pick me up from the airport. Because I'm like, I just need to deal with this. So I finally land home.
Bro had 13 hours. Oh my God, this is crazy. He now has had 13 hours from when they spoke when she was about to get on the plane to now to come up with the story. You know, he was up all night because they're about to get married. They've been together for over 10 years. He's had 13 hours to come up with the story that makes sense, that doesn't make him look too bad. He's probably going to admit to, this is the guy thing. I'm telling you how guys lie. He'll admit to a couple of things that will make him look slightly bad, but nothing that will make him look like, oh, it's not worth us getting married anymore. Okay. So now, and then he's going to organize with his guys and his friends to make it look like, okay, it wasn't nothing crazy. Basically minimize it as much as possible. He's going to unsend all his messages that he sent to her, cover all his tracks. And now on top of all that, if he was ever doing anything nefarious with any other girl, talking to them, saying anything inappropriate with them, messaging them, sending them weird DMs, he's clearing and deleting all of that. Then he's gonna come, he's gonna say, Habibti, look, I don't talk to no one. Look, I never follow her. I blocked her. I don't even love this girl. I don't even know who this girl is. Look, Habibti, go through my whole phone. I'll show you everything. You can look at everything. I don't talk to no women. I just only love you.
He texted saying that he's here, he's going to park and come to baggage claim. And I'm like, no, why would you come to baggage claim? Just wait for me, pull up. I'm just going to come. Like, I don't want you to come inside. And then he's like, my mom is with me too. I'm sorry, what? What? He says, oh, I'm going to take my mom to the sister's house and she's near you, so we're just going to drop her off. But I know what he was doing there. Like a zombie. Not only I haven't slept in like 30 plus hours, I also haven't ate. My eyes are bloodshot red. And then I walk down and he's standing there with flowers and his mom is smiling, and God bless her. I literally love her. I hugged her and I didn't hug him. She immediately knew something was up because of our body language. And she didn't speak English, so she didn't really know the few words that I said. I just said that, yeah, that's my bag. So basically in the car ride, he's like trying to sweet talk. Let's drop her off first and then we can talk. And I was like, no, drop me off first and do not come back. Like, I'm done. Okay, this is getting really long. You guys are gonna have to go to part 2. I'm sorry. Get ready with
Okay, so this is part 2 here.
part 2 of how I ended my 13-year relationship after finding out my ex cheated on me a few months before the wedding. So he drops me off basically and he's like begging to come over and talk. He said he can explain himself. It's not what it looks like. He's still not admitting, and I still haven't told him how I know. So in his head, he thinks that somebody saw them there. So he's like coming up with the story like, oh, I was there with friends. It wasn't just me and her. I very quickly realized this man has no guilty conscience. The fact that he did that and he was still following her says a lot about him. Like, he didn't even care to
And now you won't get to know the truth about that situation if he's seen her before that. Well, I guess you could ask the girl, but you won't get to know about any other girls.
her until he got caught. The amount of lies this man was telling to save his life, swearing on his mom, and so finally I decided to send him a screenshot of their DMs that she sent me, and his whole storyline changed. And then the way he still tried to manipulate me, try to put it on the girl like, oh, I wasn't even into her, and I was texting you while I was there, and she got angry, and now she's messaging you. It's like, sir, we're not discussing her. We're discussing your actions. You very much yourself messaged her, asked her out, took her out to have a drink. We're talking about that. Then he had the
Damn.
audacity to say, don't do this. We are getting so close to getting married. Like, we cannot do this. I'm like, I don't do this. You did this. Like, be so fucking for real right now. I was just losing my shit. He's like, we're so close to getting married. We're gonna have it all. I love you so much. I would never do that to you. You would never do that to me. You just did that to me. I haven't told anyone in my family yet. I messaged his sister. She was messaging me if I'm back to let's grab dinner. So I made plans with her. I wanted to tell her. His sister was the first person I told. We went to dinner. I'm like acting casual. Like, you guys, I felt numb. I couldn't even process what was happening. Like, it was just not even clicking, like what was happening with me. Finally at dinner, she could tell my voice was cracking up. And then I just told her what happened, and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's so stupid. I'm gonna slap him. No, and I was like,
I'm gonna slap him.
this because I don't think I can move past this. She's like, no way. Things like that happen, but there's no way. And she's also trying to justify his actions by blaming the girl. I'm like, the girl doesn't owe me anything. He owes me his entire life.
I will say this. It's one thing to say that, okay, he met a girl at a bar, whatever the case may be. It's a whole separate thing. And even to me, it's an extreme escalation to intentionally seek out a girl, whether he met her at a grocery store or whatever, or wherever he met her or however he knows her, and then intentionally say, I want to take you out for a drink. That's not, I met someone at a place that's random. That's like he's seeking her out to, like, that's building something there. So that's like the emotional and the physical cheating. You know what I mean? So that's like, I would agree. That's way too over the line, as opposed to, oh, I saw a girl randomly when I was already at somewhere. Okay. It also makes me feel like if he's being that intentional about taking another woman out, he's probably doing that with other women.
He messed up. Obviously, his sister was having a hard time believing that I was being so real because she could never imagine her brother doing that because he was a great brother. He was always in good light in front of them, so she could have never even imagined. But I was like, no, he admitted, and I have proof, and I cannot move past this, so I'm just telling you, like, I'm done. And she just thought I was just, like, saying it. I wasn't actually going to be done. Neither was he. He's like, no way, don't do this. We have so many years under our belt. We have the rest of our lives. Like, I will fix everything. I will do anything. Guys, I was just done. Like, I cannot believe few months before our wedding, you would do this to me. We were doing so good for so many years, or as I thought. And in our happiest times, you could step out like that. I have no doubt that you will do this once we're married and have kids, and when life becomes harder, I just felt like it was a sign from God. I'm like, literally 3 months before the wedding, what are the odds? A girl has never reached out like this and gave me solid proof. This is a sign. Take it and run with it. Do not go through with this wedding. He's like begging to come see me, and I'm saying, no, I'm done. I never want to see you again. We were writing essays. When I say essays, like, the iMessages get so long where you have to click on the arrow to go into the PDF. That's how long our messages were. And this went on for months. So I took it slowly. I didn't remove him from social media. I just muted him, and I just didn't get on TikTok and Instagram for months. And I was posting nothing but wedding content. And right after I got on that flight, I went silent for months. So everyone was like, where's Aaliyah? What is going on? So then I tell my sister, after a few days of me processing it, and I realized like I'm done. And I told my older sister, she just was in complete shock. She started crying with me, and she's like, I'm so sorry. What are you thinking? What do you want to do? And I was like, I'm done. There's no moving forward from this. I want you to call mom and tell her to stop the wedding planning. She was messaging me like, hello, I need your approvals on things, and I wasn't responding to her. So I was like, before she goes any further with the wedding clothes, I need her to stop. She's like, are you sure, sis? And I'm like, yes. I wanted my mom to know immediately. I wanted family to know, so because there was no going back. I didn't want to fall for his lies. Then we called my mom and told her. We made sure my mom's sister and brother were with her, because my mom is like loses her shit. And sure enough, she was crying and screaming. She was in shock. She literally loved him like her own. And then my mom told my aunts, and then my cousins. Then everyone's like reaching out to me, and I literally did not want to talk to anyone. I did not get out of bed. I would not eat. And my older sister was literally like such an amazing support system. She would just sit there with me, like try to talk me through things, and we would just sit in silence for hours. My friends would come over, and we would just sit in silence, because I felt like someone died, because I literally felt like I couldn't move on. I was so heartbroken. Right when I thought I could have it all, it was like taken away from me in like a heartbeat, and I could not accept it. And he had the keys to my house, and he knew my parents' like work schedule. My mom was out of town. My
Oh,
sister
you know
was not
he's
in
trying.
town, so he just showed up, and I was working. And
Yeah.
I told him I'm gonna call the cops if he doesn't leave. Like, he can't just pull up. He tried to talk. I said, no, I'm done. I don't want to talk. I said everything I wanted to say, and he's still trying to make it work. And I was like, there's no going back. He literally couldn't accept it, because he never thought that I would leave him. He did come over another time with flowers, and at the time my two best friends were at home, and we were just prepping food, and he just walked in, and it was so awkward. And I told my friend, you need to tell him to leave, like I'm going to lose my shit. And then she like walked him out, and I told him, you cannot come here, we are done, there's no working this out. And then he's sending flowers to my house, he's begging my dad, he's begging my sister, my cousin, he's DMing my friends. And this went on for like 2 years.
No, you know what's crazy about this? It kind of sounds weird, but this is the type of situation where you could turn a guy from being your boyfriend into like a stalker. Because I kid you not, I'm just gonna be real with you. Some guys, they can't actually fathom that a girl would leave them for real. Especially like because what she's doing, honestly, most women wouldn't be able to have the strength to do, just because, even human beings, because there's so much pressure from everyone around you to actually like
His family.
go through with it. So I'm actually surprised she was able to go through with it, like just literally stand on business from the very first time. Because obviously she was with him for 13 years. But like even guys too, they don't actually think girls are strong enough to go through with it. So they almost develop into being a stalker, because like in their mind, they're like, no way, it's actually done. Like no chance. They can't even accept it themselves. So they just keep trying.
Is begging me, and I loved his sisters, I loved his family, but it's like, you guys are not going to live with this for the rest of your life. It's like me that will have to suffer. So I had to make a decision for myself that I do not want that life for me. Like, I was so 100%.
Someone asked, did he sleep with her? We don't know, and she also doesn't know. She just knows that he sent her a message and asked her out for a drink, and they went out for a drink. But we also don't know the contents of everything else that was in the message. She may have also seen things that were very concerning to her, just in the way he might have been talking to her.
Genuine and kind and loving in that relationship, and I deserve the same. If I don't know my worth, a man won't. So I was like, I have way too much self-respect for myself to let him do me this dirty. A year passed and he's still just like literally delusional. He's like, enough time has passed. Come on, let's talk this out. This is not over yet. And I'm like, what? Like, this is so over. You are crazy. And then after some time, he started calling me from blocked calls, and then it stopped. And then he messaged my friend, like, is there anything in the world that I can do to just have a conversation with her? And I said, no, I am done. Like, I put up with
She
so
on
much
business.
in that relationship.
Okay.
That was my final straw.
Okay. So this is a little bit it's not like I wouldn't say like this is the first time that she's obviously been dealing with stuff with him. So maybe this was something that, like she said, she saw, and it was just like added on top of everything else she saw. So interesting.
When the woman says she's done, she is done. You have broke all trust. There's no trust in this relationship, and we're supposed to just act normal and get married in a couple months. Like, I was like, you're literally a psychopath. Like, I cannot move on. I seriously thought I would never be able to get over it because he was my entire world, and I felt like my world just came crashing. Like, I felt suffocated, that I'm literally going to die. I just couldn't imagine that I would be able to heal from something like that. But when they say time heals everything, I swear time heals everything. Like, now I wish I could go back to my old self, broken down, thought I couldn't move on even a day. I couldn't eat. I was always so nauseous. I was so miserable. I wish I could go back and tell myself, you're going to be okay. I would literally watch TikToks of girls talking about their relationship and going through similar situations, and it would make me feel so good and would give me hope that one day I will get there too. And the way sad music just was my therapy, and like listening to a good old sad song got me through it. It was so bad where I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't do anything. My sister got puzzles for me, and puzzles was literally the only thing that I was able to just focus and forget about everything else. I would literally be up till 5 a.m. just finishing a puzzle. That was like the only thing that held my focus for like months. Yeah, it was really hard to accept, but I am so happy that I made that decision because no one deserves to go through that. And with time, the amount of clarity I got, and when you step out of a relationship, then you realize everything that was wrong with it. And I was just like so happy and counting my blessings that I found out before I got married than to be stuck in a shitty marriage. Slowly, I just had to redirect my energy in life into things and learning to be myself again. And I felt like I kind of lost myself. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to do everything that I love for me and not for anyone else.
Love it. So some of you guys were asking what's her name. Her name on TikTok is Lost in Wonder, with an N, not an N. So Lost and then N Wonder. But amazing story. I love that story that she was able to actually go through with that. And I don't know if any of you noticed, she didn't cry once, not once in her whole story. So that usually, to me, when someone can tell a whole story about an experience they have had and not cry once, that's a sign to me that like they're actually over the situation, where it can just be something that they went through, but it's not something that they're like thinking to themselves like, oh my gosh, like I'm still actually feeling the sadness or feeling the weight of that situation. So really proud of her for being able to do that. Let's hop into our next story here. And this one, I guess, is equally as crazy, but this one is less about a long-term relationship and more about the, within those first 3 months type of situationships. So we're going to hear this creator, this TikToker, talk about how I found the guy I started dating, the guy I started dating was dirty. Interesting.
Story time about how I discovered the guy that I just started dating. Well, was dating. We're not dating anymore. I had to cut ties with him after this situation. After I found out he was dirty, like very, very dirty. And it's crazy because we had only been talking for about a month. And we had gone on, I'll probably say like 3 dates prior to this last specific date, to where I decided that it's just gonna be over with, is done. This particular date, I ended up going to his house because we were gonna ride in his car and we were gonna go downtown to watch the cars race and all that. And I pulled up to his house and my tire light came on. So I'm like, oh, hey, can you put air in my tire? And he was like, yeah, I'm about to hop in and we could just go to the gas station down the street from his house. So he gets in the car and we go to the gas station. We went to 2 gas stations. Both the gas stations was, the air pump thing was out. So I just had drove back to his house. I was kind of annoyed by that, but I'm like, all right, let's just handle it when we come back from downtown. So he ends up getting out of the car first. And I just happened to just look over. I'm looking over like this. And as he's getting out, not only do I see his butt crack, but it's a lot of boo-boo in there. And it's hairy. And I'm like, I know my eyes are not playing tricks on me. Cause he kind of like, he's not big. He's like in between small and medium size. So he like a small, medium teddy bear. And I usually date guys who are like kind of fit, who are actively like in the gym like pretty regularly. But this guy, he doesn't really go to the gym like that, but he has a cool personality. Like, he's cool. So he gets out of the car and I just see, I seen half of his butt crack, but it was a lot of poop like on his butt crack and it was hair over there. Like, there's a lot of hair in there. So I'm looking, I'm like, I know I'm not tripping. I know my eyes didn't just see this. Like, so I'm like, okay, let me check again. Let me see if I seen what I seen. So I get out of the car and I get inside of his car. And, we driving downtown and stuff like that. So now I'm already thrown off. I'm already turned off. I already don't want to be here. But I just want to make sure I really seen what I seen for real before I, like, really cut him off for real.
This is a really shitty situation.
So we in his car. We gets downtown. We gets to the parking. And I'm like, all right, I'm about to let him get off the car again. Because at this point, he's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. So I'm slowly gathering up my purse and all that stuff, even though I really didn't have much for real. But I'm just moving extra slow. So I look over and he gets out of the car again. And I'd seen it again. I'm like, oh my gosh. You have, like, this dude, it was like chunks of boo-boo. Like,
What?
chunks. And his butt crack. Like, I'm just in disbelief. I'm like, I really did see it. But I'm like, hold on, let me see one more time. I just need to make sure.
What do you mean though? Like, chunks? Like, how is that even comfortable to sit down in? What? I'm trying to,
that I seen this. I'm like, this can't be for real. Like, this, I'm really like seeing this right now. I ain't never experienced nothing like this. So we walking downtown. So at this point, again, like, this is all I'm thinking about. So he trying to hold hands and all that stuff. I'm like, no, don't touch me. Like, it's too hot and stuff like that. But in my head, I'm like, you dirty for real. I need to try to make sure, like, I'm really seeing what I'm seeing. Like, you dirty, don't touch me. This is what I'm thinking. So we, long story short, we get downtown. We ended up missing all the racing because we was trying to find a gas station to put air in my tire or whatever. So it was
you should have went to that damn gas station, got some hand sanitizer for him.
cool. We just ended up going to walk by the water. So it was these tables that's near the water, and he was all out of breath and stuff like that, and he just needs to go sit down. So we go.
Bro's out of breath from a walk?
And he goes and sits on top of the table. And in my head, I'm like, all right, I know his butt crack showing. I know his butt crack is showing, so I'm about to play around with him a little bit just so I can like see for this last final time. So I'm like, I'm about to go behind you. I'm just making up random stuff. I'm like, I'm about to go up behind you and try to scare you, this, that, and the third. So I goes up behind him and I'm like creeping up on him from behind and stuff. Of course, he knows that I'm right there because we just playing around. But I'm creeping up behind him and I look and I'm like, when I tell y'all, it's boo-boo all in his butt crack. Like, it's everywhere in there. And I know it was on the inside of his shirt because when I first seen it in my car, it was like smeared. Like, it was like smeared like at the top of his butt crack. I'm sorry, y'all. This is like real, like sick and disgusting, I know. But I just had to tell y'all this. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah. So back to the story. I was, when I had creeped up on him, I seen it again. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it was like big chunks of boo-boo. And it was just hairy. It was just everywhere. And I'm like, I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna tell him because that's just me. Like, I'm gonna keep it transparent with you. I'm gonna tell him, but I didn't want to tell him right then and there because we had really just started hanging out. And I didn't want him to throw me in that water. Like, I don't know you like that. So we gets in the car. After all that, I'm ready to go, like, in my head. Like, he over here trying to talk and laugh and this, that, and the third. I'm ready to go at this point. Like, you dirty. Like, it's over with. Like, I already know from this moment, like, you're never going to see me again, for real. Like, so we had, after all that, we ended up getting back in the car, going back to his place. I did make sure he put air in my tire, though. So we did find the gas
We all
station.
touched shit before.
He put air in the tire. And then, you know, we had went our separate ways. But this time he had ended up following me there to the gas station. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I'm about to tell him when I get home. So I ended up, I got home. I called him. And I'm like, hey, I don't know how to really say this, but I seen something 3 times that I didn't like. And I had to make sure that I seen what I seen because, you know, I'm just not about to falsely accuse somebody or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not me. I'm gonna keep it real with you at all times. So he like, what's up? I'm like, so when you got out of the car, I just ended up looking over and not only did I see your butt crack, but it was a lot of boo-boo in there. And y'all, when I tell you, this man said, his exact words was, that's it? And I'm like, that's it? What you mean, that's it? He like, so that's what was so hard for you to tell me or something? I'm like, you have boo-boo in your butt crack. What you mean? So at this point, my mind really blown because I'm like, you know you dirty. So he like, I still feel like we should move forward, and you know, I still want to get to know you and be with you and this, that, and the third. He said, do you? I said, no, I can't even do it.
You want to know who she was dating? She was dating this guy. I seen this in an interview one time. I kid you not. I couldn't believe it, chat. I couldn't believe it, chat. Look at this. This is the guy she was dating. I guarantee. I couldn't believe it when I seen this.
Never shitted in a tissue before.
You touch shit every single day if you shit. Like, you don't wipe yourself? It got shit in the tissue when you wipe yourself.
You don't know how to get the... Why are you touching the shit? The tissue is for the shit.
That's what I'm saying. You grab shit all the time.
No, you're not saying that. You don't. Yeah, you
You're
wipe.
Not wiping, you grab the shit.
You don't grab. Why are you grabbing shit?
Hold on.
Do you got shit stuck in your ass while you're taking...
So you telling me that y'all just let the doodle fall in the toilet? Y'all don't catch it every time? Yo.
I am about to leave, bro.
How do y'all take a shit? I must have seen this shit wrong.
My nigga.
I've been catching my shit all these years.
Nah, I'm more disgusted than I feel like I can't continue.
What are you talking about?
My stomach
So
is
hold on,
turning.
so y'all just sit there and shit come right out. No way.
What happens if you got the runs or something like that?
Yo,
what do you do then?
That shit, you wash your hands. Why do you think people wash their hands?
Yo, you shit in your hand, bro?
With tissue.
This is worse than I thought. Like, I thought...
Let's go on to our next story. Okay. Let's go on to our next one.
Story time on how I took a flight to pop up on my man. I'm not the one. You know I gotta give y'all a quick backstory. So girl, at this time, my boyfriend and I were in a long distance relationship. He was living in Dallas and I was living in Virginia. This was probably like 2 weeks before his birthday. And I had already planned to take him to Aspen, Colorado for his birthday. Girl, the flights were already booked. The hotel was already booked. Excursions already booked. Baby, the trip was solidified. I was taking my baby out of town, all expense paid. So girl, I'm thinking we're good. I got a trip planned for my man in 2 weeks. It's his birthday. Girl, life's great. As we got closer to his birthday, he started acting funny. He was being dry, he was being snappy, like, what is wrong with you? So I was at work and I decided to go in the bathroom and call him to confront him about this attitude that he's been having. Hello? What is wrong with you? You've been dry, sending me one-word responses, you've been snappy. Stop playing with me before I cancel everything for your birthday, and I'm not playing. He all like, so go ahead and cancel it then, go ahead and cancel it. Girl, I banged it on him and started crying. I was sad. Girl, and because of my past trauma, I immediately started thinking, this nigga cheating on me. Because why else would you just be acting funny towards me for no reason? You think I'm boo-boo the fool, nigga? So girl, it was time for me to conjure up a plan. So girl, I just got finished crying, but for more of a dramatic effect, I added some water under my eyes like I was bawling. And I went back out to my manager and was like, I'm having a family emergency, I need to go home right away. Girl, I had to do what needed to be done to get out of there. So my manager lets me leave, and as soon as I get home, baby, I'm on American Airlines app trying to book the next thing smoking. I knew I needed to get to Dallas the same day to see what was going on and possibly catch him in the act. So American Airlines had a flight that would get me to Dallas same day at 5 p.m. Girl, I packed my bags so fast. We gotta go. So I raced to the airport, and when I got there, I texted him to apologize. A little reverse psychology to get him right where I wanted him. So I was being super sweet and apologized, and I told him I was going to order him a little snack from Chick-fil-A around 5 p.m. So I had to use the Chick-fil-A delivery tactic because he lived in a gated apartment building, and if he didn't open the gate, I can't get in. So I knew if I texted him and said, let the delivery person in, he was going to open the gate, and I'm the delivery person. So I finally landed in Dallas. Baby, I'm scared, but I couldn't fold. So I had my Uber driver make a stop at Chick-fil-A so I can get the food. But baby, now it's time to go to the apartment. Ooh. So I texted him and said, the delivery person is there, open the gate. So he opens the gate and I went right up to his unit. Baby, my knees started buckling. Because what if I really see something I don't want to see? I lied to y'all not. As I started to knock on the door, he was already opening the door. Girl, this man jumped like, what the freak? This man literally grabbed me, gave me the tightest hug, and told me, you don't understand how much I needed you to be here. So I immediately knew that this had nothing to do with cheating. Something was really wrong. So we sit down, eat, and talk, and he finally started to explain what has been wrong with him. So he explained to me that every year around his birthday, he gets into a funk because he has goals that he has to hit before he turns a new age. Yes, that man is so goal-driven, it's crazy. And I didn't know that because this was our first year in the relationship. He also told me that he applied for a promotion at work and he was having anxiety about whether or not he was going to get it. Because he was the youngest on his team, he was only 23 at the time, and he had the least amount of experience. Girl, I told him, next time, babe, you need to communicate that. Like, I want to be there for you in these times in your life. That's what I'm here for. I'm your biggest cheerleader, nigga. I prayed so hard for that man that he got that position. I just wanted him to be at peace for his birthday. So the following week, it was time to go to Aspen. And I lied to y'all not. The morning of his 24th birthday in Aspen, Colorado, his manager called him and told him he got the promotion and told him what his new salary was going to be. You cannot tell me my goal ain't real. My man got a promotion, more money, it's his birthday, we on a trip, and we ended up working on our communication. Sounds like a win-win situation to me. Thanks for watching. Stories talking about how I took a flight.
That was a good story. That was a good story. See, nothing bad ended up happening. You know, it was a little bit suspect there for a little bit, but it ended up all good. No, I'm glad about that because I like showing the other side too. Because and someone said I don't believe it. In some scenarios, sometimes though, like it isn't exactly what you might be thinking. Because we've had this even happen in our our question time where you guys have asked me questions, and then in some cases it's not always necessarily like the worst of the worst. In some cases guys are just going through things, but they're not always that good at actually communicating that. Someone said he's still cheating. He's happily cheating. You guys are sick. Not all men are bad. Some men are good. Maybe this one is good and he actually was just going through some things. Okay. All right, let's hop into our next segment of the day. For those of you who are OG Players Club members, you know what time it is. I want you to spam it up in the chat. For those of you who never been here before, you're in for a treat. Don't look at your clock. Please don't. Don't look at your watch. Please don't. Don't look at your clock watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look nowhere else in your diary. It's an amazing time. It's a special time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry, unfortunately, as well. Should I say it loud or should I say it quiet, chat? Loud or quiet? Discord time! It's Discord time. Okay. All right. For those of you who have no idea how this works, I'm going to explain this to you right now. Sorry for my voice chat. The way that this essentially works, Discord times, where all the amazing members of our Players Club Discord community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or their situationship, and I answer it live on the show. Now, there's a few different ways for you to submit your question out to me, and I'll explain all three of those to you right now. First way, you send your question into our free relationship advice form by accessing the link in my bio if you're watching this on TikTok, or in my description if you're watching this on YouTube. Click where it says Players Club or Discord, you just say Discord, and then you can drop your question into our free relationship advice form. Now, obviously, these questions that are highlighted are questions I haven't yet gone to because I'm only one person. Now, if you ask your question in the free section today, I'm probably not going to be able to get to it today because of how many questions there are. So if you're impatient and you want me to either answer your question today or by the next show, very soon, and not have to wait a couple of shows to get it answered, you can submit your question to our premium relationship advice forum. Now, the way that this works is it's essentially a skip the line pass where the people in this forum get an opportunity to get their question. And shouldn't have pooped where I ate. What's all this poop stuff today? Question before I go into the free section. So I read these out first. Now, the only way that you're allowed to put your question in here is if you first go to the link in my bio if you're watching on TikTok, or in my description if you're watching on YouTube. Click where it says premium Discord relationship advice. Then you'll be prompted to send a donation into the show, and then also put in your Discord username and the title of your question. That way I know that's you and that's your question, and it keeps it fair for everyone, because if you're getting to skip the line, then you obviously have to be doing the proper things to be able to do that, right? Not just randomly skipping the line for no reason, okay? Now, the other way for you to submit your question is for those of you who want to get my advice or perspective, but you don't want your information to be read out on the show. This is our private relationship advice hotline. It's available in the link in my bio on TikTok, in the Discord here, and also in the link in my description on YouTube. You click where it says private relationship advice, and then I will, you can submit your question into me, type it out as many paragraphs as you want, and then I'll respond with a voice message, and I will give you the advice or perspective that you need on your situationship or your relationship. So let's get our glasses on, and we're going to read out our very first premium question of the day here, which is ironically about poop. Okay, so I shouldn't Cherie Shri Vade, okay, we'll just say Shri, says, shouldn't have pooped where I ate. Okay. Hi, Tommy. This is Shri. I'm currently in an exclusive relationship with Mr. P, who's 39, okay? We work in the same team at the same office, although our roles are different. We began talking around late November 2024 and bonded over shared emotional experiences. Both of us were raised by single mothers, as his dad passed when he was 9 years old and mine is emotionally unavailable. This emotional common ground became the initial glue in our connection. Mr. P was drawn to my nurturing nature and emotional availability. He appreciated that I would listen to him open up to his difficult past and childhood issues. Within months, by January 31st, he confessed his love for me, which didn't come as a surprise given how invested he had become, buying me food, regular chats, calls after work, and lots of affection. We're both divorced, and he expressed a desire to remarry and settle down. I agreed to have an exclusive relationship because I wanted stability and commitment. Okay, fair. Initially, he came across as a manly provider, protector type, physically strong, and emotionally intense. But now, for 4 months in, the honeymoon phase is waning, and several red flags are becoming impossible to ignore. Here are the major issues I'm noticing. Inferiority complex. Mr. P struggles with feelings of inferiority, such a tongue twister, due to perceived differences in status. He lives in a more rural area an hour away from mine, and although he's now the primary earner in his family, there's an insecurity that lingers. He often feels I look too good for him and mentions my youthful appearance despite being 37 as a contrast to his own dad bod and height insecurity, even though he's taller than me. I've reassured him many times that I love him as he is, but my words don't seem to stick. His self-esteem issues create emotional distance and tension. Continued in the comments. Here's one thing I will mention. When someone is like this, unfortunately, you can't save them. Like it's something that they have to work through themselves. Making me feel insecure about my body. I've always been proud of my hourglass figure, 37, 28, 40. So is this your waist? Sorry, your hip? Waist and what's the 40? What's the 40 for? One of these is your waist. I'm assuming maybe this one. And then one of these is your hip. I'm not sure what the other one is, which in Indian standards is often celebrated. But Mr. P had a strong preference for very large yiddies. And despite me having a voluptuous, so one of these is your bust. Okay, I get it now. A voluptuous 37-inch rack, he refers to it as quite small. How big is he? Okay. How big is he trying to go? Okay. But he follows it up with comments like, but I like it so much because it's yours, which feels dismissive rather than reassuring. He looks at other women in the office. How would you know that? With larger yiddies and on social media like Instagram, that makes me feel extremely self-conscious, even though he claims to love me for what I am. How would you know that he's looking at other women in the office? How would you have that information? Conflict avoidance and poor emotional regulation. When conflicts arise, Mr. P shuts down rather than addressing them. He often gets visibly upset, red-faced, furrowed brows, but says nothing is wrong when asked. He once gave me the silent treatment for 4 days, claiming work stress, but clearly avoiding communication. Most conflict resolution falls on me. His ego seems to prevent honest conversations or vulnerable apologies, and I feel emotionally alone in those difficult times. Controlling behavior. Despite his criticism of my size, he's also hyper-controlling about how I dress. In India, we typically wear salwar suits. Can someone describe to me let me look it up. Give me a second, chat. I want to see what this looks like. Salwar suits. Salwar suits. What does that look? Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I'm going to put this up on the screen, chat, so you guys know what I'm talking about. It's this. Here we go. Just for any of you wondering, this is what she's referring to. Salwar suits. Right there. That's what she's referring to. Okay. Sorry, I'm a visual person, so I had to see the visual first. Okay. All right. So, salwar suits. Where do we leave off? And he insists I keep my chest fully covered with the shawl. He openly disapproves of jeans, dresses, or anything remotely modern or revealing, saying, I don't even want to look at you if you're not dressed to my taste. So even if like the jeans is completely covering you and you're wearing a shirt that completely covers you, no. Dresses that completely cover you, no. Okay, interesting. He claims this is because he's a traditional Indian man, but it feels more like control masked as culture. I enjoy wearing jeans and Western clothes, but now I feel guilt or shame when I do. So I'm curious, in your office, because you talked about you work in an office, in this office, I'm assuming everyone else is dressing modern. Not that that means that you should not be able to, that he should want the same thing that he's seeing in the office, but just quite interesting. Mama's boy, to a concerning degree. While we initially connected over our love and respect for our mothers, he's taken it to an extreme. He talks about his mom at least 50 times a day, calling her his everything and referring to her as his God. Okay, no. No. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Okay, question for you, Miss Shri. How much of this, so you guys, single mothers, I'm trying to figure out how long you guys have been together, because I'm a little bit wondering, within 2 months, he confessed his love for me. So if you guys are still together now, it's only been so many months, like around 6 months that you guys have been together. But I'm just wondering how much of this were you seeing at the beginning? Because obviously, like, a lot of this is really referring to his mother as God is very strange behavior. This level of enmeshment is starting to alarm me. It would alarm me too. He also told me that his brother's wife left the marriage due to similar mother obsession issues, and yet he doesn't see this as a red flag in his own behavior. Partners worry that this dynamic will eventually make it impossible to create healthy boundaries if we move forward as life partners. I would also want to ask you to maybe ask him, if you have a conversation with him. Excuse me. Well, you might have the answer to this. How does his mother feel about you? Because here's the thing. If he views his mother as his God and his God doesn't approve of you, then what does that mean for you? Is he going to stop talking to you, stop seeing you, stop dating you? If his mother's opinion matters that much to him, that's also something that's a little bit concerning there, right? Mr. P often brags about past flings, about 3 women, talking about how they were crazy about him and how satisfied they were pineapple-y. He frames it like they were worshiping him, but he claims he had to force them out because he wasn't looking for anything serious at the time. He's bragging about this like to your face. That's quite strange. It's hard to listen to these stories because he tells them with a sort of arrogant pride, and the woman he had flings with don't seem impressive at all. In contrast to those peasant type girls, undoubtedly, I am his first baddie. That's never a good thing. That usually ends up bad. He also says that's how people love him, because he is such a good person at heart and helps everyone around him. He is very rigid and hot-headed with serious anger issues. He keeps cursing and yelling every time in the driveway, whether I'm in the car or not. He is fixed in his ways and expects me to be the same. He can't take jokes, gets pissed off quickly, and doesn't want to talk to any of my office friends. They tell me he feels cold and distant. He judges people without knowing the full story most of the time. Is there anything you like about him? He is very rigid and hot-headed with... Oh, sorry, I read that again. We've had multiple pineapples a couple of times. First time, he had performance anxiety. Oh, so much for the big man on campus that all his girls are obsessed with him, super satisfied, and couldn't keep it hard enough for any action. It was a big blow for his ego. He stopped smoking and worked out and took some testosterone pills and even said that he made all his exes pregnant. What type of... What? And it's only now that he is this way. He even told me I am the reason he got performance anxiety ED because I over-discussed pineapples and wanted it rough and freaky. I thought he was Mr. Satisfy all his women. What happened to that? Whatever. But after that, I stopped talking about it. completely. And we had pineapples after a month, and it's been mostly vanilla. So even you're not satisfied now. He's not freaky enough for you. And it was okay. I'm not complaining, but I'm a freak and he just isn't. Tommy, I still have feelings for him. We haven't spoken for 3 days now because of a fight. He brought up his ex-fling, even though I told him I don't want to hear about it anymore. It's getting awkward at work since people are noticing that we're not talking. I really need your help figuring out what to do. Should I end this or talk to him and give him a chance to change? So let me answer this last question. He is, you said 39. Okay. Men who are 39, you're not going to like to hear this, do not change. Okay. They don't change at all. And it's just a reality you have to learn. Like, the older a guy is when you meet him, the more stuck in his ways he'll be. So when you meet him, if you don't like certain things about his personality, you have to decide right then and there if that's sustainable for you. If it's something you can work with or work around, cool. But if it's something you see to yourself, I don't think this is sustainable for me, I can't work with this quality for the rest of my life, and you're honest with yourself about that, then go ahead and leave the relationship. Because these type of men, like at that age, you're not just gonna wake up one day and they're gonna have some sort of drastic difference within them, how they go about life, how they approach things, how they talk, how they walk, right? They're gonna be the same person for the rest of their life. So you have to either acknowledge that those are his habits and say you're willing to deal with them, or if you can't deal with them, perfectly fine, but you need to walk away instead of pretending like one day things will change. They won't. Okay. So the other thing here is, obviously you guys work together, so it's a little bit awkward for you, but based on what you said here, because you didn't mention a lot of good things about him. This is one of the, like, you were very thorough, very detailed. This was like the first third of your message, maybe like first 1/4 of your message was just explaining background. The rest of this entire message is just you going through all of the issues that you have with him and his personality. Not that, you're perfect and like you don't make mistakes, but like you have very well detailed, laid out all the things that don't work for you about him in this relationship. So really, you've answered your own question about whether or not this is the man for you. Because like I just said earlier, he's 39. So all of these things you mentioned are not things that are going to magically go away. So do you foresee yourself being able to deal with these things for the rest of your life and getting married to him and having children with him and all that other stuff? If the answer to that question is no, then you have the answer to your own question in terms of what to do next, which is end the relationship. Because I don't foresee all the stuff you're talking about is personality based. Like, I guess the only thing that could change is maybe you guys will have a better, more intimate like sex life. But aside from that, the way he's going about, like, he's looking at women in the office, like you mentioned here, right? He looks at women in the office with larger yitties and on social media, right? And makes me feel extremely self-conscious. That's not going away. That's not going away anytime soon, right? Like you talked about the conflict resolution, which there is none. He doesn't really take much accountability. He's extremely controlling. But then at the same time that he's controlling, he's over and he's looking at the same woman that he's telling you that he doesn't want you to dress like or look like, right? He's a mama's boy. And like I said, what happens if his mama doesn't approve of you? What happens if there's a situation where it's you versus his mom? In a marriage, right? The way that marriage is supposed to work is your wife is supposed to be like your number one priority over anything, right? So in the sense that, like, if it's a point of contention between your mom and your wife, you're supposed to take your wife's side. That's actually what it's supposed to be. That's how marriage is supposed to work, because you're not married to your mom. You're married to your wife. Okay. And that's the person's happiness you have to be the most concerned with. So my thing is, if he doesn't have that belief within him, you're not going to be able to teach him that or tell or convince him of that. If he believes that his wife is, like you mentioned here, his wife is his mom is his everything and his God, like you said here, you're not going to be able to speak on her, speak against her, go against her. Your perspective isn't going to matter against hers. Your opinion isn't going to matter against hers. And the even worse part, actually probably one of the worst parts about this, is that will mean that his mother is allowed to disrespect you in front of him and he won't say anything. This is another thing you have to ask yourself. Is that something that you can deal with for the rest of your life? That if his mother speaks down on you, talks crazy to you, disrespects you, and you're looking at your man to say something, he's not going to say nothing. Like you just mentioned, that's his God. So again, is that something that you can deal with? If the answer to that question is no, then you know exactly what you need to do, which is end the relationship immediately. So I wouldn't be looking about making this a nice, friendly, kind letdown. My honest answer to you would just be say, hey, we need to have a conversation in person, have that conversation in person and let him know that you're ending this relationship. And this is just not working for you. Now, if he wants to know why, you have a perfect already listed out detailed reasoning of why, and you can just look through these notes here and tell him that these are the things that haven't been working for you. Now, what I'll warn you of is when you go through this breakup, make sure that when you come to this breakup, talk, that you come ready to break up with him no matter what he says. Because I promise you, if you get ready to break up with him and you list out all these things, all he's going to do is defend himself. All he's going to do is tell you that you're not seeing it how it really is. And he basically is going to make it so that you don't actually break up with him. If you're going to do this, you actually need to break up with him, because I don't think that anything here is things that you can work on from the standpoint of expecting it to change. If he's not willing to see it a different way, then you guys just aren't in alignment. You get what I'm saying? Which is fine, but you have to recognize that and be honest with yourself about that. All right. All right, let's go into our next question here. Our next question comes from Bella. Okay. Bella says, why did God send me my person I can't be with? Interesting. Okay, Bella says, hi, Tomisin. To be honest, I changed my name and profile because I told all my friends and family of you, so you're a bit famous now in Germany. Oops. It's okay. Interesting. This is my 5th message to you. 5th failed situationship. So now I took 1 year to just be myself. 1 year of recovery of everything. And I think I found myself. I know what I want now. I feel very happy until my new semester started and I was placed next to a guy at uni. We both studied dentistry. He was actually 1 semester above me, but he failed. So now we are together in 1 semester. We were both 21 years old. When I met him, he started to initiate contact. He wanted to get to know me, who I was, who my friends are, who my family was. In the first few weeks, he kept trying to convince me to always ride to and from university with him because he didn't want to go alone. Interesting. Because of the weather becoming better and better, I said yes, and now driving together by bike became routine. Oh, by bike. Okay. When you said ride together, I thought in a car. First, I was a bit cautious because I always need a little time to warm up to people, especially men. But he didn't give up. Everywhere he sat next to me, we went to lectures together. We went eating lunch at the hospital. The hospital is in our uni, together during lunch breaks. What? But why in the hospital in the uni? It's in dentistry, but why are you in the... Okay, whatever. In those breaks, he tried to find out everything about me. He asked things like, do you have a boyfriend, a crush, or did you ever have a relationship before? Sometimes I became uncomfortable because I just met him. He found my Instagram and followed me. And also my closet friend I hang out with. Oh, sorry, closest closet. And also my closest friend that I hang out with, okay? After a few weeks, I opened up more and more to him. I realized that I have never met someone like him before in my life. Someone who isn't impressed by money, by being rich, or other superficial things. He is a deep person and read me like a book. He read my facial expressions, my behavior, when I needed coffee, when I was upset or mad. This made me feel insecure because all the other guys I've met before him were more like... All the other guys I've met before were more like Mr. Perfect to the outside, but never were able to understand me deeply. Now you might ask yourself, where the problem is, Tomisin? He has a girlfriend. Yeah. Okay, so Bella. Okay, Bella. Okay, Bella. Now you're concerning me because the message doesn't just end with he has a girlfriend, so I stopped talking to him. End of the story. Now I'm worried. Now you're concerning me because the message goes on. We're about halfway through. So now I don't want you to disappoint me, because you've been seeming like you're very smart, very intelligent, know what you want, know what you're looking for. You've been doing very well. So I'm wondering why the message continues to go on after this. Don't disappoint me. I'm hoping you don't, DeBella. I'm hoping you don't. I didn't know it for the first few weeks until I followed him back and saw her in his highlights. They're together for 1 year, I guess. He never mentioned her. It was me who mentioned her for the first time. After a long day of dentistry school, he asked me jokingly, "My back hurts. Can you give me a massage?" Yeah. With baby oil? Yeah. And I said, "Go get a massage from your girlfriend." Yeah. Maybe you should also know that he has 2 other female close friends of a friend group. He told me that he goes on coffee dates with them, or with one of them, or goes to the gym as well. I don't know what kind of relationship he has with his girlfriend, but do I exaggerate by saying that I wouldn't feel comfortable if I was her? Why? You're not his girlfriend. Why would you talk about what you would feel if you were his girlfriend when you're not his girlfriend? Why are you even still talking to him? If my boyfriend was close this much with other women, why does it matter? You're not his girlfriend. I went through a tough phase because I knew that I actually liked him, but this didn't belong to my values and norms, being this close with a man who has a girlfriend. Do you agree with me? 100%. That's why I'm wondering why the message even goes on. The problem is I feel like he likes me a lot. Stop. Bella, stop right now. This is a trap. What's happening to your mind right now? It's a mind virus. One of the many mind viruses that will sabotage your life. Okay? When you meet a guy and you realize he has a girlfriend, I don't care what you feel. I don't care what you think about your chemistry. I don't care what you feel about the spark or the vibe or the whatever the case may be. You say to yourself, if he has a girlfriend and he's in a relationship right now, then that subsequently means he's not my man. Not my guy, not the guy that I'm meant to be with. If there's a scenario in which he doesn't have a girlfriend, he's single, and he wants to explore a relationship with me, sure, so be it. Like, well, we'll see when that day comes. But if he's in a relationship with someone else, he's not my man, and I'm not even going to consider what it's like to be with him because it's unnecessary. He has not chosen me. Okay? So there is no problem. He likes you a lot, right? The problem is that you're even still talking to him after knowing this information. But again, being the woman men find fascinating, but never the woman they actually choose, hurts me right now. Well, you're hurting yourself by continuing to interact and speak to a guy who you know has other priorities. You're always going to be hurt that way. He spent a lot of time with me and we laughed together. We went through highs and downs at school when we passed exams. At this tough phase, he didn't know anything. I decided now to keep distance. For him, it's very new because the girl that felt more and more comfortable with him now starts to say no some days to driving together to uni. I thought you guys were riding on a bike. She started to disappear, but still kind of in a friendly way. Just disappear. You don't have to be friendly about it. I even started asking him questions about his girlfriend, which can be very interesting for you now. Me, are you happy? Him, yeah, kind of. Me, do you have plans for the future? Him, what do you mean? Do you mean living together? Well, we thought about it, but right now I actually feel very comfortable in my actual shared apartment with my friends. So I tried to feel better by hearing this out of his mouth that he loves and adores her. But I feel like I didn't get much out of the conversation. No. What you subconsciously wanted, people do this, women do this that are dealing with married men as well. You subconsciously, even though you're saying that you're asking this to hear him say how much he loves and adores her, you secretly don't want to hear that. What you secretly deep down want to hear is him talk about the cracks in their relationship. That's actually what gets you wet, okay? Mentally. What's going to get you wet and stimulated mentally is hearing him say how maybe their relationship is kind of on the rocks. Maybe she's not the girl for him. Maybe he's not that into her, right? That is what's really going to stimulate you, right? Because that's what's going to give you hope. That's what really your soul and your spirit is looking for when asking these questions. Not because you actually care about his relationship. You just want some sort of hope that maybe there's a possibility they'll break up and you guys can be together. That's why you're secretly asking that, even on a subconscious level. Now it's a bit weird because I'm distant. And I try to balance that with being a normal classmate or a normal friend to him. Day by day, I become more detached from him and from the idea of being with him. I'm assuming you meant to, but I feel like he doesn't give up in a way that he asks me every day which time we should meet to ride bikes together. He still waits for me when I pack my stuff, and when I'm quiet next to him, being in my thoughts, he tries to make me laugh or says ironic things like someone's chatty today. Haha. That's someone else's man. Okay? Never forget that. Every time you think this, just remember that's someone else's man. And also think to yourself as well, Bella. Remember to yourself, everything that he's doing and saying with you when you guys are in class, asking you to ride bikes together, packing your stuff together, right? All the stuff that you guys do in university. Just remember, if you were actually with this guy, like actually his girlfriend, one day you will actually be his girlfriend and someone else will be you. Do you get what I'm putting down? It feels good to be the other girl, right? Because you're getting the attention now and you're feeling the vibes. But remember, one day you will not be the other girl. One day you'll just be the boring same old girlfriend. And one day he'll be in class or at work or at the grocery store or wherever he is. And he'll meet a new girl. That's the new shiny new toy. That's not his girlfriend, that he's building some chemistry with, that he can ride bikes with, or he can do work projects with, or he can collaborate with. And she'll be the new girl that he puts all his attention and time into, that he's waiting for her to pack up her stuff, that he's making ironic remarks at her. So remember, what you're dealing with is also a personality. That personality doesn't change just because it's you or someone else. It sounds weird to say, but you're not special. From the standpoint of if he would do that with you while having a girlfriend, you could also be his girlfriend, and he does that to you as well. Do you think I should tell him the truth about my point of view, that he is too close to me if he ever asks what's wrong? No, I think you should recognize that even if you were together, he would do the same thing to you. And this isn't even the type of guy you want. Do you think I do something wrong by being distant instead of just letting it flow and watch what happens? No, I think you're wasting time by letting it flow. Because every time you say you want to let it flow, obviously he's going to push forward, because that's what guys do. Guys are going to, they're going to pursue, and they're going to, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just going to push the envelope, right? Like they're going to try as much as they can to push the envelope and see how far they can get. So if you don't say no or put your foot down, they'll just keep pushing. I don't want you to think that I already fell in love with him or something, but he is the first guy that there is a deeper feeling, or I feel for on a deeper level, that sees me every day at uni and stays by my side. Why are you saying this like this? Why are you saying this like this? But with time, I recognize that his questions are very private, coming from a casual uni friend. For example, when I meet a friend, he randomly asks, how was your day with X, Y, and Z? What did you talk about? What did I talk about with my friend? Like, what are those questions? Well, thanks for your patience. I stay up all night just to listen to your advice today now. Thank you. Okay. So here's the thing. This is a waste of your time. Complete waste of your time. Okay. Even if he broke up with the girl and he said, I'm breaking up with this girl because I want to be with you instead. My advice to you, don't be with this guy, because you're inheriting a guy who was willing to talk to you, hang out with you, and spend time with you in a way that you find inappropriate for having a girlfriend. So understand that what he's doing to you can also be done to you. Or sorry, what he's doing with you can also be done to you. So you don't want to be the girlfriend, because right now you're the other girl feeling the attention. One day you might actually end up being the girlfriend, but you're not going to like that when he's giving a different new girl attention. So what I'm saying is, Ask yourself, you're right now, you're in a position where you're thinking more about being chosen by him than you are if this is actually the type of guy you want or need in your life. You don't actually want a guy who's willing to do this in your life because you know this is not okay. And you know, like you even mentioned in your message, you wouldn't stand for this if you were on the other side. Not only with how he goes about talking and treating and acting with you, but how he has these female friends that he goes to the gym with and spends a lot of one-on-one time with. Okay. Which you're justified in feeling like that's inappropriate. Those are inappropriate friendships. There's nothing wrong with feeling like that's inappropriate. And so at that point, you have to ask yourself, why am I worried about being chosen by a man who I wouldn't even want to be with a man like that anyways? Sometimes being chosen can take over so much of your brain space that you stop asking yourself the most important question: is that guy even what I need after I get chosen by him? And I think the answer to that question for you is no. So the best thing for you to do to move forward is to stop talking to him cold turkey, not continue trying to be friendly, not continue trying to be cool about it or whatever the case may be. Stop sitting next to him in class. Stop allowing him to sit next to you. If you need to send him a message like, hey, I don't want you to sit next to me in class, like I'm not trying to talk to you, I'm not trying to see you, then do that. Okay? No more bike rides, no more casual rides, no more lunch dates, no more nothing dates, no more chit chats, no more texting. You move on with your life and you let him know. If he says, why can't you talk to me? Why can't we just be friends? You let him know. If you want to have a conversation with me and you're single, then we can have a conversation. But I'm not going to talk to you while you have a girlfriend and do things that I wouldn't be comfortable with if I was in a relationship with you. So, and you can just leave it there. You don't have to do any more explaining or whatever the case may be. If that doesn't work for him, then too bad. If he wants to talk to you, then he can talk to you as a single man. If that's too hard for him, too complicated for him and his girl have too much history, then go ahead and he could be with his girl. But right now you're giving him the out. That's what guys love this. It's called a gray area. He gets to be in a gray area, spend time with you, do some things with you when he has time, give you attention when he wants to give you attention, but then still have his girlfriend. Don't be a side chick. Okay. But in order for you to do this successfully, you have to completely cut him out of your life. No more chit chat, no texting, no calls, no nothing that he gets from you. No energy he gets from you at all. Okay. Let's hop into our next question here. Damn, we got a lot that I have to go through. Okay. This one comes from LP, baby. This question says, how to get over this bad habit / this guy. 2 questions. Is it normal to miss someone and still have no desire to want to be with them? Is healing just a messy process? Yes, that's very normal. I mean, I've had it happen to myself before. You're not actually missing the person. You're missing the presence of being with someone in general. When you spend a lot of time with someone, even sometimes just months with someone, you get accustomed to the routine of like being with that person and always having someone to talk to. When that person is no longer in your life, it feels like you have a void in your life, not because you actually have a void because that person isn't in your life. You just don't have that regular person to always talk to. So that is an adjustment, right? It starts to take you out of your regular routine. So it's not that you actually need that person or want that person. You just have to get used to being not in a relationship anymore or talking to someone or having someone all the time anymore, which is fine. It's just an adjustment. It just takes some time. What advice can you give to someone who can't tame that monster of snooping at an ex's social media and seeing what they're up to? Block them. The easiest thing you can do for yourself is block them. And make it as difficult as you possibly can to continue accessing their profile. So for example, if you know that every time you open up Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook, you check their stuff, then at a certain point, once you block them, not only do you block them, but delete the app off of your phone. You don't have to delete your profile, but delete the app off of your phone and say to yourself, the only time I'm going to access the app is if I'm on my laptop or my computer to actually check it or check my messages. The reason I'm saying that is because you're just putting more friction between you and checking that person's app. If every time you have to like see their stuff, you have to go on your laptop, open up your laptop, log into your laptop, open up Instagram or open up Twitter or open up Snapchat, and then go to your blocked page and then unblock them again and then go back to their thing and then look at their stuff, right? It creates a lot of friction, right? There's a whole bunch of steps between you and viewing their stuff. The more steps you can put between you and viewing your ex's stuff, the more difficult it becomes to do. Because in the process of you doing that, you're like opening up your laptop and then you're going through, and then when you're like covering over the unblock thing, you kind of start asking yourself after a while, like, what's the point? Like, I'm going to look at this and it's going to be the same thing I've been seeing, right? Like, so as many steps as you can put between you and looking at that person's profile, the better. That's what will make it easier for you to kind of work yourself through that over the course of time. I'm too embarrassed. I can't stop snooping my ex-boyfriend's, the one that I dated for 2 years, and his ex-girlfriend turned best friend, their IGs and their social media. So you have to block all of them, right? You block the whole web of people. I know it's wrong and not productive to my healing, but it gets the best of me, and somehow I can't seem to tame it. I have blocked and deleted my burner account, and yet it's unsuccessful. It's been 8 months since that relationship ended, and I know I don't want to be with him, though my curiosity gets the best of me, so I stalk. And I get very sad and emotional about the loss of that relationship in some strange way. Once again, you don't miss him. You just miss having someone. I feel embarrassed by the fact that I still care to check my ex-boyfriend and his ex-girlfriend's social media, but clearly not embarrassed enough to stop. Also, I've learned that my ex-boyfriend and his ex-girlfriend are very much closer than ever. Who cares? I don't know if that means they are in a relationship or just remain best friends. Who cares? You're watching their life and they're not even thinking about you. Okay? You should be embarrassed and shamed that you're doing that. And they ain't thinking a lick about you. He posted them together and his friends on Instagram. She hasn't posted him, but he's tagged her in her family posts and at their family events. So I want you to, as you're rereading this, as I'm reading it out, I want you to think to yourself about how much information and detail you have about other people's lives who aren't thinking about you. Like, think about this. Like, you're literally putting together the relationship, when the last time they saw each other, the family events they went to, the things that you're like following someone else's life. And the person that you're is not no celebrity, just a regular person that don't wake up thinking about you at all. Not for a second. Especially the girl. You're watching her whole life and everywhere she's moving, everywhere she's going. You know every outfit she's worn for the past, week. She don't even know who you are. That's sad. But that should be the shame that you feel to say, I'm better than this. I know I'm being Sherlock Holmes by stalking his IG and socials and his ex-girlfriend bestie, and it hurts me when I discover him moving on and remaining close to his ex's turn besties, but it's very hard to starve that creepy stalker monster. We are never getting back together, and I don't want to get back together with him, but I feel like it has an invisible grip on me. I tried everything to stop stalking. I feel hopeless because I've deleted my burner, I've blocked and tried all the methods, but I keep unblocking and snooping. I know it's bad. Please give it to me straight, because I cave and stalk and I feel so defeated that I end up crying and I get so depressed. It's very sad and pathetic. I thought it'd be over by now. The past 7 to 8 months, is this just a part of the healing process? The other thing that you can do, LP baby, is if you want to take it a step further than just deleting the app on your phone, you can also deactivate your actual main profile. So the way that works on Instagram is you can deactivate your profile so that you can't even, when you deactivate it, you have no profile anymore. So you have no way to access Instagram unless you reactivate the profile. But in order to reactivate the profile, you have to do a bunch of verification, send it back to your email, so a process, okay? But it's good. The deactivation can last for up to 30 days. And you can still get the profile back, but you have no profile. Like, people can't access it. They can't view it. They can't whatever, right? So once again, right, it creates more and more friction for you between you and being able to view what they're doing. And then when you have no access to Instagram, because you need a profile to view stuff on Instagram, now you have to reactivate your profile just to view their stuff again. And I promise you, as long as you put more and more friction between you and viewing their stuff, it'll continue to make it easier and easier for you to not view it. Because what's happening right now is it's the easiest to view their stuff when all you have to do is go on your phone that you already have in your hand and just click unblock. But if you don't have the app on your phone and your profile is deactivated and the only way to log in is to go onto your laptop or whatever the case may be, now you're putting a lot of steps in between you and actually viewing their stuff, right? The other thing, what was I going to say? Yeah, as long as you put more friction in between you and that, it'll make it harder. Now, the other thing you can do is build a routine around. So, for example, you'll start to get a sense of the times in the day and in the week in which you are the most likely to start checking their stuff. For example, if you know that Saturday nights you're free, you have no work, and everyone's going out, and you're usually at home not doing anything for your weekend, and you know that that's usually the time where you start to look through their stuff because you're starting to think to yourself, I wonder if they're hanging out this weekend or if they're doing something on Saturday night. That's the time that you need to book something in your schedule and build a routine for yourself at that time period, whether it's, it's fun, like watching Netflix or watching a specific movie or going out somewhere yourself or whatever, reading a book. Book something in your schedule for that time where you know you're the most vulnerable, to make it that much harder to just turn to stalking their stuff. Because if you give yourself nothing to do around the time where you know you're just kind of free and your mind starts wandering, that's when you'll start to say, okay, well, now that I have time, let me see what they're up to. As opposed to if you have somewhere to go or somewhere to be, it just creates that much more friction between you and being able to actually check on what they're doing. Okay, and you'll be surprised if you can just give yourself something to do and put that friction in between you and being able to access their profile. You could go out somewhere, and I'm telling you, by the time you go out, you have fun, you meet some people, you'll be so worried about what's going on in the place that you're present that you'll realize when you come back from it and you're back at home, you'll be like, damn, I haven't really thought about that person in like a whole 2-3 hours. Right. And then slowly but surely from there, you continue working on that process. And then you'll realize, damn, I just went 4 hours without thinking of them. Damn, that was like 5 hours. Damn, I don't think I thought of them all day. And it'll just get better and better from there. But you can't keep feeding the monster like that and making it easy to feed the monster. If you do, then it'll just create a very toxic cycle. Okay. All right, let's hop into our next question here. Our next question comes from Pansy. Okay. Toxic friends. Hi, Tommy. I wanted to follow up on the friendship situation I brought up earlier. Here's a quick recap. I connected with this girl through Instagram. We share the same career paths, although we work for different companies, and she reached out to me out of the blue. We quickly became friends, developed a close bond, and talked all the time in person and FaceTime, but strictly platonic. You said girl, right? Yeah. Okay. Why are you saying platonic? It's okay. After we broke up, wait, what? Okay. You previously advised against reaching out to our mutual friend to avoid being seen as the weirdo still pursuing her. Yeah. However, I've noticed that she has no problem stealing my friends. Okay. So I need to know, is it acceptable for me to do the same since she's already crossing that line? No. Does that even the playing field? No, don't do that. Or should I aim to take the high road? Don't do that. Don't waste your time and energy on people who don't deserve your time and energy. If she wants to steal your friends, then whatever, like she wants to hang out with your friends, whatever. If you want to, you can say, hey, if you're inviting this girl, I'm honestly like not down to hang out. Like I don't want to see her. I don't want to be around her. And just let it be known that you don't mess with her. And then so be it. If these are your friends first, then they should be like, hey, if you have a problem with her, you don't like her, then hey, we mess with you first. That's what your true friends should take that stance. I hope they do. But yeah, I don't think that you need to stoop lower by hitting up her friends. It's just petty and there's no reason for it. And what's the point? You're not even hanging out with those people because you genuinely want to be around those people. You're just hanging out with them because you want that girl to feel something that you're feeling. No point. Okay. So don't stoop lower. Don't do the same thing that she's doing. Let's do another question here. This one comes from Syracuse. Is that your name? Syracuse. Okay. Look at this profile picture. You're funny. Dazed and confused, needing advice desperately. Okay. 28, single, caught feelings for my 24-year-old coworker. Don't judge. I'm not judging you. No, I'm not judging you. No judgment for me. We both started working at this company in December, work from home. The first few weeks, he started striking up convos about things we have in common. Wait, so you guys hadn't met though, because you guys were both working from home. Then if anything happened at work, he'd check up on me, offer to have calls, FaceTimes to let me vent. Yeah. Yeah. We almost immediately connected and chatted like close friends, talked about past relationship goals. I started to catch feelings. One day, he asked me about my age after telling me his, so I thought that was the end of it. But even though he was surprised, we still kept chatting and being friendly on calls slash texts. Not that much of an age difference. It's 4 years. Okay. We live in different countries. He complimented me once out of nowhere. He hints at wanting me to go to his country. Wait. What? Okay. So you guys still haven't met in person yet. I did say before that I wanted to visit it. He'd motivate me. But I told him that I'm not traveling soon. Few months into this chatting situationship, he jokes mid-convo something like, "Oh, I gotta find a wife. I've had no luck so far." I was taken aback because the whole vibe of our convos, because of the whole vibe of our condos, so I kind of felt rejected, but couldn't say anything because I don't have any evidence or proof that there was something there to begin with except my own intuition, so I just withdrew silently for 2 weeks and went no contact. Problem is, we work together, so we would need to talk about work sometimes. This is the problem with talking to someone you work with. I was starting to get over myself, brushed it off, and chalked it up to misunderstanding on my part. Decided to send a work text, and we started very briefly talking about a work issue that he directly asked, "What's up with the 2-week ghosting? No more ghosting, please," which confused me further. Again, I chose to assume we're just friends since nothing was said. Since then, we've been chatting on and off during work hours, not meeting, just chatting, not meeting. Nothing as deep and as detailed as before. Very superficial and brief stuff. I ignore texts most often, been wanting to put up a boundary and go no contact completely because I'm starting to feel like a placeholder but because we work together and I might be promoted over him, I don't know how I can do that. Any advice? My advice to you, Syracuse, is to stop wasting your time. Okay? Here's the thing. I'm going to break this down for you. You talked about you guys live in a different country, right? Nothing particularly wrong with that. What are your intentions of going to that country? Maybe sometime in the future, basically. But you're not interested in traveling anytime soon. So point blank period. He's never mentioned coming to your country. So where are we at now? No one's coming to either person's country. No one has any intention of traveling to that place anytime soon. So what's the point of this chit chat you're having? None, really. Really none. On top of the fact that you're not really just looking to chit chat, you're also looking to like hopefully turn this into something, which is not a crime. But the fact that he's saying I got to find a wife and then you're crushed by that, like you're in the wrong place. Because if you guys have no intention of meeting and then you're crushed emotionally by him saying he's looking for a wife, there's so much misalignment there. I can't even begin to like explain this out. Because what are you guys talking for? Okay, this is why I hate work situations, truthfully. When you're having conversations, are you having conversations for work or are you having conversations because you guys are interested in getting to know each other? The problem is work is disguising getting to know each other and getting to know each other is disguising work. When there's no clear boundary there and it's all a gray area, we don't even know if this guy is really serious about being with you at all. Or if he's just chit-chatting with you, like I always say with guys with work, sometimes they like to use chit-chatting with the girl they're attracted to as a way to pass time by at work. And it's fun and stimulating to chit-chat with someone who you're attracted to at work. Because the alternative is don't talk to no one and then work is super boring. But flirting with you is obviously going to make it that much more interesting and exciting for himself. But is he necessarily saying to himself, well, outside of work, when I'm not getting paid, do I still want to talk to her? Do I still want to see her? Do I still want to take the effort of like flying out to her country or actually organizing going out on a date with her if she comes to mine? Most of the time, the answer for men at work is no. They just like to do it at work because it makes work go by better and faster and be more fun. So the reason I say that is because you're wasting your time having these expectations for a situation that I don't think he's taking as seriously as you, to be honest. I really don't. Unless and I even say that, like, unless you were having some sort of plan to like fly yourself out to his country, book your own all your own travel, book your own hotel, stay right next to wherever he's gonna be, and probably even then you'd still have to go over to his house. I don't think he has any interest in exploring a relationship with you. I think he really is just good with just chatting with you over work stuff and, you know, kind of flirting with you on the side of work, and that's basically it. But what is that gonna do for you? Nothing. How are you going to build a relationship off of that? You can't. So don't bother wasting your time continuing to chat with him when nothing is going to be built from that. And then if he has a problem with that, you can let him know, like, oh, why are you ghosting me, or why are you not talking to me? You can just let him know, I just want to work. Like, I'm not interested in having a whole bunch of chit chat. We're not meeting. You have no intention of coming to my country, and I'm not visiting yours anytime soon. So us chatting is just pointless. And then if he wants to say, oh, but I can fly to your country and da-da-da-da-da, like, whatever. If he wants to say that and actually take action on it, cool. But I doubt he'll actually do that, in which case, don't bother talking to him if he just wants to continue chatting with you. Can't chat forever. Okay? All right, chat. That's the show for today. For those of you who have any questions for me, feel free to ask, whether it's in the private section, the premium section, or our free relationship advice section, okay? For those of you who want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just above my head on the top left of the screen. If you're watching this on TikTok, it's also in my description. If you're watching this on YouTube, for those of you who are watching on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show because you came late or you missed some points, my YouTube is just above my head on the top right corner of the screen. And you can go there, just type in my first name, Tomisin, and you can go into the the YouTube live section of my channel, and you'll be able to see this live stream and all the other live streams I've done since the beginning of time, okay? I'll see you guys again on Monday because I'm here every Monday and Thursday. So until we meet again, I bid you adieu, arrivederci, au revoir, hasta la vista, sayonara, ciao, salam, bounty, adios, bon voyage, and I'll see you all again on Monday next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you so much.